project, and I have the PowerPoint if you guys want to click through this, do your presentation. Take it away.
All right, well, as you said, I am Ethan Armstrong.
And I am Matthew Martinez.
And this is our proposal for the Mendes Memorial Park. See, here we have an overhead view of what the park is going to be. We have the playground there and the fountain with the statue in the middle with the stepping stones going around the walkway of the fountain. And you have a little walkway that leads to the memorial bench.
For the stepping stones, we decided to do them for 2 achievements, 2 people, 2 events, 2 quotes, and 2 legal victories. For the achievements, we decided to do Brown versus the Board of Education, which would look like a suitcase. We would also do the Mendes case, which would be in the form of a medal. As for people, we decided to do Martin Luther King Jr., and his stone would be shaped like a cloud. Rodney King, as his stone will be a camera. For the events, we decided to do a protest one of the protests, and the shape would be a fire hose, and Little Rock 9, which would be shaped as a book. 2 quotes we felt that were important were one by Dorothy Height, which is, "We cannot afford to be separate. We have to see that all of us are in the same boat." And another by Malcolm X, which is, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today." And as for the 2 legal victories, we decided to do the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which would be shaped as the American flag, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which would be shaped like a ballot box.
For our bench, we decided it should be a block of stone marble, symbolizing the immovable resolve of the civil rights leader. The figure that we decided for the bench, we chose Dorothy Height, and the inscription on the bench will be as follows. Dorothy Irene Height was born on March 24, 1912 in Richmond, Virginia. She excelled as a student and eventually received a scholarship to attend college. Height graduated from New York University, where she received a bachelor's in education and a master's in psychology. In 1957, she became the 4th president of the NCNW, the National Council of Negro Women. With Height as her leader of the NCNW, they supported voter registration in the South and aided civil rights activists throughout the country.
For the playground equipment, we decided to put a swing set, which would be multicolored to symbolize diversity, a kiddie bus referring to Rosa Parks, and a play structure which would have a bridge connecting the 2 to symbolize the joining of communities.
For our statue, we decided it should be of the Mendes family. And the statue, for symbolism, we will have medals around Sylvia, Gonzalo Jr., and Jerome's neck, symbolizing the event in 2011 in which they were recognized and awarded Presidential Medals of Freedom. Gonzalo will have an outstretched hand referring to his decision to continue the lawsuit in order to remove segregation for all Mexican children in the community and not just his own children. Sylvia Mendez will have a stethoscope in her hand in reference to her later accomplishments of earning degrees in nursing, which would not be possible without the Mendez case. For the inscription of the statue, it will be as follows. We dedicate this statue to Gonzalo Mendez and his family for their courage and perseverance. They fought for equality by suing the school districts to remove segregation in public schools. On March 18, 1946, the Mendez family achieved an important legal victory in the civil rights movement, followed by a quote from Sylvia Mendez. Mendez isn't just about Mexicans. It's about everybody coming together. People are fighting for justice, and people of all communities.
Thank you. So again, I want to thank them. These are our winners. Please give them a round of applause. At such a young age, you know about the Mendes case and really informed about the civil rights movement. I unfortunately never learned about the case until I was in college. But again, I want to acknowledge you for your communication skills and your creativity. and your collaboration to work together and to present this project. Again, there were 7 different presenters. You were the top winners, and again, I just want to say it's an honor meeting you, and we enjoyed the presentation. I know there were others that did virtual reality and all kinds of exciting things, and I'd like to show some of it, but we don't have time. But again, I want to thank you very much and wish you guys the very best and have a great summer. Thank you.
Next speaker is Win Hung, followed by Joseph Ngo.
Và bây giờ là ông nhà báo Nguyễn Phương Hùng.
Speak Vietnamese? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Excuse me. The reason
Hold on a second. I think we have a translator, our city staff. So we go to translate. Why don't you speak in English and he go to translate? Okay. All right.
The reason I speak in Vietnamese is because we have a lot of Vietnamese media today, and they record it in television. So I wanted to speak Vietnamese. So we have 70,000 voters in Westminster. They can understand. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, quý vị không nên từ chối toàn bộ code of ethics mà chỉ nên không đồng ý với vài điều khoản. Tôi đã nói về code of ethics. I am agree with this code of ethics. Nếu không thông qua quy tắc đạo đức này, quý vị đã chứng tỏ là tâm muốn khống chế quyết định và tiếng nói của dân chúng tôi bằng sự lợi dụng phương thức quyết định đa số thắng thiểu số để áp đảo bất đồng ý kiến. Bởi vì quý vị luôn có một ba lá phiếu mà tôi gọi đây là một nhóm băng đảng quyền lực chính trị của ba người. Tôi không phản đối cái phương thức đa số quyết định này vì từ ngày áp dụng hình thức này cách đây hơn 60 năm. Nó đã được điều hành bởi một cách đứng đắn. Nó không sai vì các thành viên của thành phố đã làm đúng. Chỉ đến khi quý vị tạo ra một cái phe nhóm 3 triumph gang thì thành phố chúng ta mới biến thành một nơi múa gặt vườn hoa của quyền lực chính trị bởi lợi ích phe nhóm. Trong số 25 điều khoản do ông David Johnson chọn, tôi nghĩ tối thiểu 10 điều khoản cần được chấp thuận nếu quý vị muốn từ chối bản quy tắc đạo đức này. Đó là những điểm 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 15, 22 và 25 cần được chấp thuận. Mà điều quan trọng và tôi quan tâm nhất đó là điều thứ 8. Tại sao? Vì thực tế không có luật cấm người nghị viên này bổ nhiệm con của người nghị viên khác và đổi lại người kia lại bổ nhiệm con của người nghị viên này để trả ơn, đóng vào vòng kép. Nhưng về khía cạnh đạo đức thì hoàn toàn sai. Quý vị có biết common law là gì không? Quý vị còn nhớ trường hợp của cựu nghị viên Tiếp, nay là dân biểu của tiểu bang. Luật sư Đê Võ, người do ông Tiếp bổ nhiệm, đã tống tiền và nhận hối lộ 15.000 USD. Vậy sự trao đổi bổ nhiệm con trai và con gái giữa bà Kimberly Hồ và ông Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Trí có nằm trong cái thuyết âm mưu với ý đồ khuynh loát cái hệ thống dân chủ trong thành phố Westminster này không? Tôi còn muốn thêm vào các bản dự thảo này nữa, quy tắc đạo đức này là cái người bổ nhiệm cho một người nào đó phải chịu hình phạt giống như cái người bị phạm tội và bị sa thải ra khỏi hội đồng thành phố nếu không tự ý từ chức. Về vấn đề regulation của cô Ngô Thanh Vân, chúng tôi muốn biết lý do là bữa nay là tại vì với cái chương trình tăng thưởng của thành phố thì có rất nhiều thứ hạng thấp nhất với là certificate, recommendation, proclamation, recognition, appreciation and regulation. Trong đó regulation là cái bằng tưởng thưởng cao nhất. Tôi đề nghị regulation chỉ được cấp phát khi được tất cả 5 nghị viên cùng đồng thuận. Vì regulation mang tính cái hội đồng nghị viên thì không thể thiếu bất cứ ai để tránh cái trường hợp như là cô Ngô Thị Vân vừa qua. Ông thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí đã làm sai khi không tham khảo ý kiến của đồng viện, nhưng cách giải quyết theo nghị viên Kimberly Hồ lại vụng về và chỉ ghi vào trong biên bản buổi họp. Thay vì thay thế bản văn mới thì chỉ có tên 3 người. Lý do theo tôi vì Kim Billy Hồ biết chắc chắn sẽ làm tổn thương cho thị trường Tạ Đức Chí, cho nên bà đã đề nghị giải pháp này. Nhưng thực tế cô Ngô Thanh Vân vẫn cầm trong tay cái bằng vinh danh đầy đủ tên của 5 người. Phải chăng có sự thỏa thuận giữa nhà sản xuất phim ảnh và thị trường Tạ Đức Chí ký hợp đồng phim ảnh giữa Alan Võ Ford với thị trường Tạ Đức Chí? Bà Đoàn Quế Anh là vợ của ông Chí Tạ, một người không hề được biết đến trong cái tiểu sử cá nhân, là một người viết truyện phim. Và bà Kiều Trinh, đó là tại sao lý do mà bà Kiều Trinh cũng được mời đến văn phòng của thị trường để cùng với cô Ngô Thanh Vân nhận văn bằng. Tôi không quan tâm ông Chí Tạ về công việc ông làm bên ngoài thành phố Westminster, ông không có gì sai trái hay vi phạm, nhưng tôi quan tâm đến cái sự va chạm quyền lợi, conflict of interest, vì ông đã lợi dụng chức vụ và hội đồng nghị viên Westminster để mưu cầu lợi ích cá nhân về gia đình ông. Tại sao khi trao bằng cho cô Ngô Thanh Vân thì cái lá cờ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa đã bị giấu đi trong phòng, và khi bởi báo chí Việt ngữ thì ông lại mang nó ra đóng kịch?
Nói được mấy phút cô.
Sorry, I think your time
Ra là
expired.
hàng nói, ok.
Sao nữa?
Anybody want it?
He gives us 5 minutes in English.
Quiet. Yeah. Yes.
Go home. Go home.
See the manager? Does he get his 5 minutes in English?
He does.
All right.
Yes.
Does he speak English himself, or does he need staff to translate for him?
Because I only have just a few points.
Okay. Okay.
Cái thằng này nó
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Member of Council. I apologize that there's someone, one speaker just.
Hold on just a second. Can we explain the rules for translation to the audience, please?
hey.
I can explain it. The Brown Act provides that if somebody speaks in a foreign language, they're allowed twice the time to allow the interpreter to speak and present that.
Okay. So again, I apologize that I cannot capture all the points for the speakers. That's went pretty fast. Just basically disagree with the codes of ethics and by not being approved.
Người thông dịch viên đang dịch cho hội đồng thành phố xem nghe. Tuy nhiên thì ông cũng nói là vì ông Nguyễn Văn Hùng nói khá nhanh, cho nên ông ấy chỉ nhớ được một vài điểm trong cái lời phát biểu của ông Nguyễn Văn Hùng.
Especially the item number 8, he's against an item number 8 not having the family members being voted in their own office. He also suggests that the resolution should be approved by a majority of the 5 council members, which was given to the woman among the actress. And he asking the mayor why he didn't have the South Vietnamese flag in the picture when the resolution picture was taken. So that's all I have for as far as translation.
Thank you. I think that covers everything.
Next speaker is Joseph Ngo, followed by Michael Rangia.
Good evening. I'm very stunned on May 10 when I received a message that with the title "City Councilman."
Can you speak on my to the board? Yes, speak to the board.
Yeah, he left on my message box and they said that he will come after me. So when I see the message, I'm very afraid and very nervous. What we say about.
Ông Joseph Ngô đang than phiền với hội đồng thành phố là ông đã từng bị ông Tài Đỗ. Ông Joseph Ngô cho rằng là ông Tài Đỗ đã hăm dọa ông ấy và làm cho ông ấy cảm thấy lo sợ và hoang mang.
And Cynthia, she fight with me and she said that I come to your home. I said no, he is a city council or former officer. He cannot say he come to our.
Và ông Joseph Ngô có mang theo một cái tờ giấy in ra những cái comments ở trên Facebook. Hai người nói chuyện qua lại.
Because they're not the lawyer, they're not a judge, So the official have to follow the rule to their enforcement. They have to write.
Hiện tại đang là thời điểm mà những ai đang có ý kiến gì, đồng tình hay là không đồng tình với hội đồng thành phố, họ có được vài phút đứng lên để mà phát biểu.
for 6 years ago. So I think he mislead the community here too, because he running for the city council. He said that he's the official in Long Beach. So I concerned. I'm very nervous. So that's why I go to Long Beach.
Như quý vị thấy là có rất nhiều người đang cầm biểu ngữ, và cái mà chúng tôi thấy rõ nhất đó là dường như những người này không đồng tình với ba người, đó là ông Tạ Đức Chí, ông Nguyễn Mạnh Trí và bà Kimberly Hồ, và họ gọi những người này là tam nhân bang, và tiếng Anh có nghĩa là gang of three.
Because he says like a gangster here too, he said he walk on his foot, he can go any corner of the street like gangster, he can come after me if I have a bad ethical, he's not good and ethical. He is a liar to the community. He run for the city council. He should say he's a former officer only, because he worked for trainer. It's not the law enforcement. Thank you.
Những điều này là hết sức bình thường ở tất cả các cuộc họp hội đồng thành phố, không những của người Mỹ gốc Việt mà của người Mỹ cũng hết sức bình thường.
Smile a little bit in this hole, it's not that bad. I have in front of me the list of items that were requested to be removed from the code of ethics by the three of you. I don't imagine that the other two council members want them removed. What I'm concerned with is some of the items on here already pertain to things that are going on this council. And if you wind up taking 25 items off of this list that's been done for the code of ethics, you're going to wind up with like a one-sentence code of ethics. And I kind of wanted to be part of a team and help you out here, so what I would like to do is this on there? Okay. This will kind of help you out. This is your one-sentence code of ethics up here. If you wind up taking all of these things out, I know that you want to streamline it. I know that you want.
Người đàn ông này than phiền rằng là ông cho rằng nếu như những điều mà cái quy tắc về đạo đức mà bị loại bỏ khỏi ra thì ông e ngại rằng là những người trong hội đồng thành phố hoàn toàn có quyền làm bất cứ những gì mà họ muốn.
But don't go stripping out 25 items out of the code of ethics. What else is going to be left? I understand it's a long document for a city council or state government or school district, whatever. It should be a long document. Thank you.
Và người đàn ông này, ông ấy muốn rằng là cái quy tắc về đạo đức sẽ được thông qua, chứ không có như là những người như ông Nguyễn Mạnh Trí và bà Kimberly Hồ và ông Tạ Đức Chí sẽ bỏ đi.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, good evening. Juan Gonzalez, SoCal Gas. Came in a very intense activity going on here in the city, but wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself to all of you. Again, Juan Gonzalez, SoCal Gas. I'm actually the temporary public affairs manager within your city. I understand my counterpart, Ms. Linnea Shields, been working closely with some of you, and I'm happy to report, I think from her last visit here at the council, she was expecting her child. I want to say that child and mommy are doing well, and she's out on maternity leave. So for in the meantime, I understand probably till about late summer, anything in SoCal Gas within your city, I wanted again to take the opportunity to introduce myself to all of you and be able to be helpful in regards to any activities SoCal Gas related, natural gas related within the city of Westminster. Just a little background, born and raised here in Orange County, born in the city of Orange, raised my entire life in the city of Anaheim, so all I know is Orange County, and again, very happy to be here and be able to do any activities any additional activities that we may be able to provide assistance here in the city of Westminster. SoCal Gas will continue to provide safe, affordable, and reliable energy to all of your residents. And just also want to kind of bring into the loop in regards to activities taking place at the CPUC, where there's actually activities taking place where they're looking to potentially electrify everything in the state. So I want to put that into your realm, that there's a serious activities taking place at the CPUC where they're looking to get rid of natural gas, which is an impact what it can be for all of your constituency. So I'll be reaching out to the city manager and reaching out to all of you in the near future. But again, I want to take the opportunity to reach to all of you and introduce myself. Thank you so much for the opportunity before you. Thank you.
Like I said, Mr. Gonzalez, thank you for being here. I've been on the council for almost 7 years. I've never seen anyone from the gas company here, nor met them, so it's good to know that there's somebody out there representing them.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Next speaker is Carlos Manzo, followed by Tony Bui.
Evening, Mayor and council members. I'll keep this short. Really don't like to come and speak to you because I'm sure you know who I am. My name is Carlos Manzo. Long-time Westminster resident. I sit on the planning commission, but I'm not here today as a planning commissioner. I'm here to speak to you about something that I find that's wrong in our country, and it happens a lot, and I see that it happens here in our city also. You know, come Memorial Day, politicians all over our country are going to go to cemeteries and honor our fallen heroes. And also here, I'm assuming you guys are going to be there. I've seen you at the cemetery. But it's something that I find that's kind of hypocritical and wrong is that here we are, you know, we come and celebrate them, but then some politicians all over our country, they do.
Khán giả của Nữ Vòng Trái Đất TV, những hình ảnh mà quý vị đang xem trên màn hình được truyền hình trực tiếp từ thành phố Westminster, miền Nam California. Đây là cuộc họp của Hội đồng thành phố Westminster vào thứ Tư mỗi hai tuần một lần. Thì ngày hôm nay rất nhiều người Việt đến đây có tất tâm đến cái quy ước đạo đức mà ông Tài Đỗ và nhiều người cũng như là bên phía những người trong hội đồng thành phố và người Việt ở tại miền Nam California, ở Little Sài Gòn đang tranh cãi rất nhiều, và dường như là ngày hôm nay sẽ liên quan đến cái việc là có cái quy ước đạo đức đó, quy tắc đạo đức đó hay không ở trong thành phố này. Và vừa rồi thì quý vị thấy là có một người Mỹ, ông đã đứng lên và nói rằng là nếu như cái quy tắc đạo đức đó mà bỏ hết gần 30 cái gạch đầu dòng, không còn một cái nào, thì cái việc mà ông nghĩ rằng là những người ở trong thành phố quyền hạn của họ rất lớn và họ muốn làm gì thì họ làm. Vì vậy ông mong rằng là cái quy tắc đạo đức này sẽ được giữ lại. Và chắc chắn là chúng tôi sẽ tường trình cho quý vị những ý chính của những người Việt Nam liên quan đến cái vấn đề này khi mà họ đứng lên nói đến cái vấn đề này. Và bởi vì hiện tại thì chúng tôi đang bước ra phía ngoài của phòng họp của Hội đồng thành phố, vì bên trong chúng tôi không muốn nói thông dịch cho quý vị nghe, bởi vì đó là cái điều là không tốt, bởi vì rất nhiều người đang giữ im lặng cho cái cuộc họp này. Mong là quý vị thông cảm.
Trying to do more on the radio today. Other cities and I think it was LA, they're trying to see even more when it comes to campaign finance, ethics, and all these things. You know, all these may not be illegal. You know, voter suppression, gerrymandering district lines, running decoy candidates, but it may not be legal. But I'm pretty sure it's unethical to do that and it's disrespectful. So I think we need to do more as humans, as elected officials, appointed officials. So that's just my own personal view. And I just want to let you know I'm not here with any, alternate agenda. I'm here for myself. I'm not speaking for anybody else. That's why I kind of stay away from here, because I don't want people to think that, I'm here on some other agenda. So thank you very much, and I hope that you guys strive to do more, not just the bare minimum when it comes to ethics, and really honor our servicemen and women by doing better. Thank you.
Next speaker is Tony Bui, followed by Thuy Nguyen.
và đây là một người Việt Nam.
As a reminder to the audience, if you have anything that you'd like to project on our projector, please bring it up to myself or staff over there. Tanya can wave.
Nếu như quý vị muốn đưa lên màn hình cho cả hội đồng thành phố xem thì quý vị mang lên cho tôi.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Tony Bui. I'm a resident of Westminster. In the past months, I witnessed this Westminster City Council meeting from January 2019 did not serve the progress of the city. Why? Because there was too much problems within the board of city council, especially one of the freshman city council. He come into the city council and bring up, he blamed people corruption, but he did not bring up any evidence that is not good. He himself is corrupted, his mind. Therefore, I hereby present the fact and take my responsibility if this fact is not right. City council member is voted to be the leader of the city. Henceforth, he or she has to protect the interests of the city. You are not under the guidance of any people because people trusting you to carry on the policy to make the city grow. And even a city manager, he may listen to you and give some advice, not you get permission from him to do anything. That is the wrong way of conduct business. Therefore, in the past 3 months, I have witnessed the so-called police councilman colluded. That means working in hand with Mr. Phát, a city council member of Garden Grove, to recall 3 of the mayor and the Westminster City Council. But he is not successful because the people still always support all of you because his action is not right. It shows that he is presumptuous, self-conceited, arrogant, immoral. So you talk about ethical, but you are immoral. How people can trust you?
Người đàn ông này đang than phiền rằng trong vài tháng qua, ông Tài Đỗ đã cố gắng làm ảnh hưởng đến công việc của 3 người là ông Chí Tạ, bà Kimberly Hall và ông Nguyễn Mạnh Trí. Và ông đã cho rằng là ông Tài Đỗ có kết hợp với ông Phát Bùi để mà làm cái chuyện này.
But Mr. Tai Do voted yes for this project. However, within 1 week or 2 weeks, he turned around and stabbed the project by spreading the rumor right on his Facebook that Hội Ái Hữu Cửu Long, the Navy Cửu Long organization, which is going to be presented to build this monument. He claimed that this organization did not have the legality paper. So we call the character of Mr. Idol is unfaithful to your own voting decision. And we learn from the fact that your faithful wife also kicked you out of your life, her life, due to your unfaithful character.
Vâng, rất nhiều người phản đối những gì ông này vừa nói.
Yes, I like to deny on the speaker, the member of the community. You're more than welcome to speak.
Shape up your own family.
Hold on. Let me speak. But when you speak, you cannot, mention any personal life, any member of the council.
I'll take one.
Khi mà ông phát biểu thì ông không được nói đến đời sống riêng tư của bất kỳ ai. Đó là những gì ông Tạ Đức Chí vừa nói với người đàn ông này.
Before you call out for transparency and corruption in the city.
Người đàn ông này nói đến những cái chuyện riêng tư của ông Tài Đỗ, và vì vậy cho nên gặp rất nhiều người phản đối, cũng như là ông Tạ Đức Chí đã yêu cầu là không được nói đến bất kỳ những cái gì liên quan đến cái đời sống riêng tư phía ngoài công việc của ông Tài Đỗ.
One individual is not good, then his action will deteriorate the whole community. That is my standpoint. Okay? So this is the things that I really want all of you, that one person character will affect all the community. So please shape up your character and shape up your mind and be coordinate and cooperate with the whole group to be a one team. Teamwork, not single man. Okay? Thank you for listening to my presentation.
Thuy Nguyen, followed by Dr. Long Pham. Yes.
Vâng, thưa quý vị, đây là nhân vật mà rất nhiều người chú ý mỗi lần đứng lên phát biểu, đó là cô Dung.
Tôi chỉ có hai câu nói với lại quý vị ở thành phố Westminster như vậy. Câu đầu tiên, tôi vẫn tiếp tục chống đối thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí tặng bằng tưởng lục cho chó cái vì cộng đồng Thanh Vân. Đó là điều sai mà thị trưởng không có một lời hối lỗi nào với cộng đồng người Việt Nam gia và những người tị nạn cộng sản như chúng tôi. Đó là điều thị trưởng Tạ Đức Chí phải trả lời trước dân chúng và đồng bào của thành phố Westminster. Tại sao thị trưởng làm điều đó và thị trưởng không một lời xin lỗi? Đó là điều thứ nhất tôi muốn hỏi thị trưởng. Điều thứ hai, tôi không muốn nói nhiều nữa vì đồng tiền ba vị thị trưởng, phó thị trưởng Charlie Nguyễn Mạnh Trí đã làm điều sai và tiếp tay với Việt Cộng làm ba con sâu làm rầu nồi canh.
Để hút là Việt Cộng.
Again, I'm going to summarize the speaker who just spoke. She just had two questions. One is, she's against the mayors gave the resolution to the activist movement, and then the second one is kind of, I don't understand, but I think she's pretty much saying the mayors, the vice mayor, and Councilman Nguyen that's working with the communists. That's right.
Vâng, và tiếp theo là ông tiến sĩ Nguyễn Kim Long.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, member of the City Council. My name is Long Pham. I'm a resident of South Valley. I'm here this evening as a former Vice President of the Orange County Board of Education. I'm here to testify that we do need a set up ethic code. You know, every public agency, we need that because elected official, as a human being, we do make mistakes. We do listen for friends and relatives, and we do receive a lot of pressure from all different directions. So to protect the public interest, you know, each and every one of the public agency, we need the code of ethics. And secondly, as the individual to personally support and campaign for Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Ho, and Councilmember Nguyen when you guys first ran for office. I would like to urge that every one of you please accept the challenging by welcoming the code of ethics rather than rejecting it. Thank you so much.
Ông Phạm Kim Long nói rằng là cái quy tắc đạo đức nên được thông qua bởi vì nó sẽ giúp cho những người đang điều hành thành phố Westminster sẽ làm đúng công việc của họ.
Quang Nguyện. Thưa ông thị trưởng, trí tạ và quý nghị viên, tôi là Bùi Kim Anh, là cư dân thành phố Westminster 19 năm nay. Tôi sống trên đường Stapleigh, Westminster. Tôi có vài lời với tăng nghị viên tài đỗ. Tôi yêu cầu ông chấm dứt tất cả những việc đánh phá các nghị viên gốc Việt quốc gia trong thành phố này. Chúng tôi rất phiền lòng mỗi lần nghe ông đến buổi họp để chỉ trích bới lâm tìm vết các nghị viên gốc Việt. Tại sao ông lại vạch áo cho người bản xứ xem lưng như vậy? Thật là xấu hổ. Thật là xấu hổ. Thật là xấu hổ. Ông nên dành thời gian quý báu đó để lo cho các cử tri, những người đã từng bỏ phiếu cho ông, trong đó có tôi và gia đình tôi. Tôi rất thất vọng vì ông. Nghị viên thành phố này đã làm việc cho họ, chứ thành phố mỗi ngày tiến triển tốt đẹp hơn. Tôi mong ông làm việc cho thành phố để cho những cư dân trong thành phố và thành phố này mỗi ngày tiến triển hơn. Ông đã vào thành phố này, ông đã đánh phá những người Việt quốc gia. Tôi ở đây gần 20 năm rồi. Chúng tôi không cần những người như ông đã gặp gỡ, chụp hình và phỏng vấn với các tên Việt gian như Nguyễn Phương Hùng, Đàm Vĩnh Hưng. Cảm ơn quý vị đã lắng nghe.
Only way you can do
đã ra một cái nghị 8.1. Tôi hoàn toàn chống đối. Tôi là người dân thành phố Westminster. Tôi là một người quốc gia chân chính tại thành phố này. Tôi đã từng lập ra một cái hội thân hữu quốc gia của Quảng Ngãi. Cho nên những người mà làm việc với hội đồng thành phố, các Việt Nam thì chúng tôi hoàn toàn chống đối. Xin cảm ơn.
The speaker's name is Bùi Kim Anh, and she's a resident of Westminster for 19 years. She just asking why is Councilman Taigo. She just asked to have him stop against the rest of the city council and use his time for the people who vote for him, and including her. And she also against the item 8.1.
Good evening, Mayor Todd, council members. My name is Lisa Phelps. I've been a resident of the city of Westminster for 33 years. My family actually moved here in 1963, so we lived here. My very first school was Ray M. Schmidt. I'm appalled. I was at the meeting last month. What I just heard today, what I can understand, I am appalled. How do you allow people to verbally attack somebody, anybody on this council, personally? There needs to be a code of ethics. Last time, the same gentleman spoke about how everybody was okay with Margie Rice having nepotism. No, people were not okay with Margie Rice. People were not okay with Margie Rice for a very long time. But all the things that go on happen, and it needs to stop. And I applaud Taigo and Sergio Contreras for wanting this code of ethics. We need to stand up for the people and do what's right in the city of Westminster. First time in 33 years, I want to sell my house and leave and move out of this city. I work in this city. I work for Carol's Paint and Flooring. I've been there 19 years. It's one of the oldest businesses in this city. This council needs to have ethics and accountability for
Người
every
phụ nữ này mong rằng là sẽ có cái điều khoản về đạo đức, quy tắc đạo đức mà nhiều người đang nói tới, và bà nói rằng là bà rất thất vọng với hội đồng thành phố. Lần đầu tiên trong hơn 30 năm bà sống ở đây, bà muốn sẽ bán nhà và dời đi nơi khác sinh sống vì những gì mà hội đồng thành phố đang làm.
So we need a code of ethics.
Lan Kwok Nguyen, followed by Jody Boyd, followed by David Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Lan Kwok Nguyen. I'm a member of the Board of Education of the Gandhi School District, and also where I have my office right here on Bolsa, 9141 Bolsa in Westminster. I'm here today to urge you to have a careful consideration of the proposed code of ethics. It has a good intention.
Đây là ông luật sư Nguyễn Quốc Lân.
What it does is it renders the city leaders ineffective in advocating for their residents. The proposed provision, I read it carefully, it requires elected officials to surrender their authority to the city managers, who is not elected by the people, who may not be accountable to the resident either. He is accountable only to the city council as a whole. From the perspective of the Vietnamese community, I see that this is nothing more than an attempt to take down the progress that the city has accomplished over many years. We were here where the council members sitting on the dais told us that if you want a parade in honor of the former Vietnamese military forces, you go back to Vietnam to parade there. A mockery of the bravery and the sacrifice of our former military personnel. And we were here when the council member told us that the sacred Vietnamese heritage flag is nothing more than a banner. The city should use the law related to the discount sales commercial banner there. We ask that the council and the council member treat every resident, everyone with the same dignity. We do not ask for anything more, but we will not take anything less than other residents. We not sliding back to those days. We urge the council to consider the same dignity for everyone. We urge the council member to see through what is before you today and to reject the proposed code of ethics to fulfill your obligations to serve the residents who elected you to represent them. And thank you very much.
Ông luật sư Nguyễn Quốc Lân, ông ấy không đồng tình với cái quy tắc đạo đức và ông ấy mong rằng sẽ không thông qua cái quy tắc này.
I'd like to touch base with you again about what we spoke about at the last meeting regarding your appointment of Weston Side, Kimberly Hoside's son, to the Planning Commission. I counted, and there were a total of 17 applicants for the Planning Commission. Can you tell me of those 17 applicants, how many you actually interviewed? Now, I know under the Brown Act, you don't have to answer, but it would make it a lot easier for all of us. I've done some research on my own, Now, excluding myself, there were 5 applicants that would have been worth interviewing because they had world-class experience with development, construction, working with Fortune 500 companies, the Corps of Engineer. You contacted none of them. Also, at the end of the meeting, when you shared your comment, you said you would not apologize, you would not ashamed, that Weston was young and energetic, and we need to hire more young people. Vice Mayor Hoside echoed the same thing. We must give young people more opportunities in the city. Are you aware that the city is covered by California law against discrimination, specifically age discrimination? Do you know how many people applied? And age discrimination does in fact extend to applicants. And I spoke to your director of HR and risk management right before this meeting. She sought me out. I am correct. Age discrimination does extend down to our city and to applicants. And in this case, because our applicants are applying for a paid position with the city, which would include benefits, they are covered against discrimination against age. I will be continuing this further because it's unethical and I can't let this go, especially as being one of them, even though I'll exclude myself. I'm almost 60 years old, and I was not contacted. Many of the other very qualified applicants put down that they're retired, and they were not contacted. The second thing that I would like to bring up, Mr. Manfrose is probably directed to you and to the mayor. Back on December 8th, 2016, it was a Saturday, and there was a special meeting. Item number 3, which was brought forward by then Council Member Diana Carey, was regarding the residency verification policy and process for commission and committee applicants. That was passed 4-0 with Council Member Contreras absent. It was passed that we would verify residency of our applicants by checking with the registrar of voters, their driver's license, and a utility bill. Why was that not implemented? I'm looking at you.
I'll answer. I don't know that it wasn't.
It was not implemented. I've spoken to 2 people, and you're only checking the registrar of voters. It was passed to check driver's license and a utility bill. It's in the meeting minutes and it's on the video. No answer?
I'll look into it with staff. Thank you.
All right, and this is where I need the elbow, please. Can you turn it on? So, had we been following what was passed, this is what we would have found regarding poor Weston side.
Hi, ma'am, your time has expired, ma'am.
Weston side is now driving a newly acquired Tesla that is registered
ma'am, I
to
think that is-
Casino Ridge
Ma'am,
Road
ma'am.
in Yorba
Please,
Linda.
ma'am, that's it. Your time has expired,
So
ma'am.
you're telling me that you don't want to hear it?
Ma'am, that is really personal. You're more than welcome to have a meeting with any commissioner or have a
Okay.
meeting, please. Ma'am,
Your time has
Then
expired.
I know the Orange County District Attorney, Mr. Spitzer, ran with this issue of carpetbagging as one of the planks.
Ma'am, your time has
I'll
expired.
take it to him.
Ma'am, your time has
And I
expired.
don't know where you sleep at night.
No time.
Vâng, thưa quý vị, đó là bà Bùi Kim Thành.
Hello, Mayor and City Council persons. Should I wait for Mr. Contreras?
Go ahead.
Please restart my timer. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is David Johnson. I'm a resident of the area. I'm also a commissioner, but I don't speak on behalf of the commission. I speak on only myself. Addressing a comment made by the two speakers ago where he said it would only be appropriate for the council members to be able to go around the city manager and direct others. I'm sure all five of you understand that's not appropriate. That's not how government in the United States works. You create policy, he implements your policy. You can't go around him unless he gives you permission to do so. In this case, we've heard Mr. Manfro say you can speak to a few others on his executive cabinet, including his assistant. But going around it otherwise would be inappropriate, and obviously that lawyer doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. There are two drafts that you will consider tonight according to your agenda. One was 12 pages long, and if you include the cover page and table of contents, it was comprehensive and it fit the entire scope, which also included conduct. All clauses of that came from other cities' approved codes. There were no new requirements made for it. All of it came cut and paste from others and then slightly refined. Nonetheless, it was rejected by our city by the gang of three. Their new draft is approximately 4 pages and has deleted over 25 clauses, many of which the gang of three have already been guilty of, and I assume that they don't want to be held accountable. Furthermore, they took out the commitment pledge and took out the mechanism for reporting unethical behavior. Here are a few clauses that have already been violated and that they want to remove in their 4-pager. 1, members should seek to disclose any meetings that they have had with project applicants or opponents or any other substantive information that they may have received outside the public hearing process. I'd like to make a point of this. Did anyone in the audience today notice a few minutes ago that the ex parte communications that was on the agenda was already skipped by the mayor? He skips it at each meeting. It is unethical to do so. That is the point at which you are supposed to express these things. This thing that you are now taking out of the code of ethics. Number 2, material supplied by the staff member of the city council to the city council member in response to the request must be made to all other city council members so they have equal access. We've heard now that the mayor has issued certificates and proclamations without the knowledge of our city council members. 3, do not get involved in administrative functions, which we just talked about. 4, no member shall attempt to influence the hiring, rate pay, or appointment of any relative of the city. Kimberly and Charlie hid that their children were appointed by each other and then approved them as commissioners. 5, city council members should encourage commissioners to act independently and do not threaten them to remove them in situations where they may disagree with an issue. And I say to you, how is appointing your own children considered independent? Of course you want to delete that one. Number 6, members should encourage others to report unethical issues in a manner that can be both anonymous and unbiased. But here, they don't want to encourage others, themselves or any others in the city government, and have an anonymous way to report issues. Let me read that again. Number 6, members should encourage others to report unethical issues. And that is what's being taken out of the 4-pager. In conclusion, greed on the city council has proven too often more powerful than reason. I hope that our leaders will choose ethics over selfish ambition. This is about right versus wrong and ethical behavior over selfish ambition. Thank you.
Ông David Johnson, ông ấy đã mong rằng là thành phố sẽ thông qua cái quy tắc đạo đức, bởi vì ông cho rằng đây sẽ tốt cho thành phố, cũng như ông hy vọng rằng những người mà không muốn thông qua cái quy tắc đạo đức này, họ sẽ đừng có ích kỷ mà phải nghĩ cho thành phố. Đây là bà Trần Thanh Hiền.
More than 3 decades ago. I have a few questions for the new council member Taido. Why are you making so much trouble to the city?
Tại sao ông Tài Đỗ làm nên quá nhiều phiền phức cho những thành viên hội đồng thành phố?
Some days ago, I saw you, Mr. Dave Johnson, along with Mr. Phát, gang up in Facebook, bad-mouthing and criticizing your own council members.
Cách đây vài ngày, chúng tôi thấy ông cùng với ông Bùi Phát trên Facebook.
In serving your citizens and working for the safety and prosperity of this city. Councilman Taido, it's time for you to stop your childish.
Thưa ông Tài Đỗ, đây là thời điểm mà ông phải ngưng lại những công việc mà ông đang làm.
For your colleague, it's wasting time, resources, and money for the city. You brought up the code of ethics. It's fine, but seriously speaking, you first need to look at your personal life.
Ông muốn thông qua cái quy tắc đạo đức thì cũng không sao cả. Tuy nhiên ông phải nên học lại ông phải nên xem lại cái con người của ông. Và sau đó thì rất nhiều người đã phản đối vì cho rằng bà Trần Thanh Hiền đang tấn công cá nhân.
Why you busy judging others? You left your closet open and your skeleton fell out. So, before you start pointing fingers, make sure your hands are clean. I like to bring up a racist comment from a white woman at the last council meeting. She said that she doesn't want to see a minority from somewhere coming here to take over this city. What exactly did she want to say here? Was she being racist? This racist thinking must be stopped. If she said the same racist word at Santa Ana City Council members a meeting with 7 Mexican council members there, she will know what happened to her. As you know, the population in Westminster has been growing. The city is now close to 50% Vietnamese in residence. We're no longer a minority at all. So don't bring in the race issue here. Let's live together in harmony like the past day and try to build a peaceful and happy place to live in Westminster. Mr. Dave Johnson, Councilman Taido, and outsider troublemaker Phát, please stop creating disruption to the community.
Ông Tài Đỗ và người đàn ông thường gây ra phiền phức Phát Bùi, xin hãy ngưng lại những việc làm.
Mr. Dave Johnson, be your own person. Don't ever be a puppet for Taido and Bùi Phát. Thanks for your time.
Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Lastra. I'm a resident in Westminster. I'm speaking this evening regarding item 8.1. I'm rather nervous, so I'm sorry if I make a few mistakes. I read all 3 versions that you posted on the internet, and I do like one additional element that you added to the ethics policy, item 5, use of public resources. I think that was a great addition. I noticed also that a few elements of the code of conduct have been incorporated into the new ethics policy. but the meat of the code of conduct has been eliminated. And the new policy also omits any formalized strategy for imposing sanctions on council members or committee members who do not adhere to the policy. There are only 3 sentences in this new policy which deal with compliance and enforcement, and I'm concerned that this could result in less compliance and ambiguity in how we deal or the members deal with those who don't comply. The portion where an official would sign the code has been removed also, so the city would have no documentation showing that an official has agreed to abide to the policy. Basically, it has, in my opinion, the appearance of being unenforceable. So I've been attending sessions since about last January. I watched on TV before, and I've been keeping track of public comments, and based on the comments that I've seen in the last 6 months or so, there's a degree of mistrust toward the council. Removing the code of conduct from the ethics policy, I think, would further erode that trust. We as Americans, and I think across the world, people tend to distrust government, and when government officials try to remove codes of conduct, it further intensifies that distrust. And I can sense that this is very frustrating for members of the council. Let's face it, city council positions are not highly paid, and they're not very glamorous. The work you do is relentless and sometimes thankless, but you do it because you love the community. In order to move forward and restore public trust, I'm asking that you don't eliminate the original detailed code of conduct, number 1. Number 2, restore the formal sanctions section and also include a place for members to sign the code or policy. All elements of the code of conduct, I think, are necessary for our city to be healthy. Let's see if I can go back. Sorry, I got a little mixed up here. The community will see, if you eliminate the code of conduct, the community is going to see the ethics policy alone as worthless and possibly further proof of dysfunctional government. If you adopt the original code of ethics that includes that code of conduct, you'll be proving that you're willing to work with the community. And I know that this is not going to be easy, and it's going to require some conciliation on the part of everyone to make a document that everybody can agree upon. But you really all have done so much in service of this community, and this would be a great way to unify our city and restore public trust. Thank you very much.
Followed by Lay Myron, and then Victoria Kim.
Như vậy là sẽ có bà như vậy là sẽ có bà Bùi Kim Thành trong ít phút nữa sẽ đứng lên phát biểu.
Please excuse me for my English, so I will speak in Vietnamese. Tôi có 2 câu hỏi cho hội đồng thành phố là tại sao thành phố đã ra những luật lệ ngăn cấm sự xâm nhập của Việt Cộng mà bây giờ lại mở cửa cho Việt Cộng vô đây? Câu thứ hai là trước đây đó thành phố không có thèm quan tâm tới chúng tôi hết. Sau một phát bằng khen cho Việt Cộng, các ông bà làm ra vẻ đắc lực, làm việc đắc lực cho những người đã tín nhiệm bằng cách ve vuốt mấy bát cựu quân nhân, như xây đài tưởng niệm các tử sĩ trong trận Hoàng Sa. Và bây giờ là đi quan tâm đến sự an toàn của người dân trong thành phố lắm vậy. Các ông bà nghĩ là lũ dân ngu dốt Việt Nam sẽ quên và cho chìm xuồng cái vụ phát bằng khen cho con Việt Cộng như trước đây. Các ông giám sát viên đã phát bằng khen cho thằng Việt Cộng Hồ Xuân Sơn hả? Ngày nào các ông bà còn ngồi trên những chức vụ do chúng tôi bầu lên, ngày đó các ông bà phải trả lời cho chúng tôi tại sao lại có những hành động phản bội cử tri như vậy. Cảm ơn.
So the speaker has 2 questions. Why is the city trying to stop the communists, but actually do let the communists into the city? And the second question is, the cities the council pay attention to the resident and to the people, but why is it betrayed and people trust? That's sort of how fast I can write that. Thank you.
Tôi là công dân cử tri của Westminster. Trước hết xin kính chào hội đồng thành phố và kính chào tất cả quý vị có mặt ở hội đồng hôm nay. Tôi đến đây.
Hold on a second.
You
What is that? No, hold on a second. Oh. Okay.
Chào hội đồng thành phố. Hôm nay tôi xin góp ý trong cuộc họp của hội đồng thành phố. Tôi là một cựu quân nhân ở tù cộng sản 10 năm và lần đầu tiên tôi sống ở thành phố Westminster này trên 20 năm. Nhưng mà thành phố Westminster là một thành phố yên bình và một thành phố có nhiều cái ý nghĩa lắm. Nhưng mà hôm nay tôi sở dĩ tham gia vì cái cuộc họp ngày hôm nay với cái quyết định, với cái code là ethics và conduct, tức là về cái bộ nội quy và đạo đức và hành động. Thì tôi phân tích cái bộ luật này với cái âm mưu nó như thế nào. Vì khi một dân cử mà được đề cử ra, được người dân bỏ phiếu mà không được làm việc, tức là phải qua một cái người gọi là trung gian. Tất cả những gì người dân trong thành phố khi có những vấn đề hoặc là có những cái việc mà cần khiếu nại thì nghị viên và coi như thị trưởng, phó thị trưởng không được làm việc, phải qua cái sự trung gian cái người đó, cái người được dân không được đề cử. Đó là cái âm mưu thứ nhất. Cái âm mưu thứ hai nữa là trong hội đồng thành phố này, nghị viên tài đỗ là cái người mới vào thành phố này. Tôi là một cư dân ở đây, đã sinh sống ở đây lâu và những người sống ở đây lâu, nhưng mà hội đồng thành phố đây làm việc rất tốt. Đồng ý, không phải trong vô hoạt động, nhưng mà tài đỗ tới đây làm việc trong 3 tháng nay tôi chưa thấy một thành quả cả. Tài đỗ lên nói rằng bây giờ hội đồng cần phải nghĩa là công bằng tất cả mọi chuyện. Thị trưởng cũng đi học, phó thị trưởng cũng đi học lại. Là như thế nào? Mà tài đỗ chỉ làm một cảnh sát viên mà thôi. Đó. Thì như vậy nhân dân cộng đồng nên hiểu nó như thế nào. Còn cái bộ luật mà gọi là nội quy đạo đức và hành động này, nếu mà được cư dân này chấp thuận thì thứ nhất là cái người dân không nên đi bỏ phiếu, vì không nên bầu cho thị trưởng, không nên bầu cho người dân làm việc, không nên việc phải qua một cái người trung gian. Thì như vậy những cái tệ nạn trong thành phố xảy ra, đó là chưa nói cái âm mưu thứ nhất. Cái âm mưu thứ hai là khi có cái luật công bằng thì có thể một ngày nào đây với cái âm mưu của người Trung Quốc, với âm mưu của Việt Nam xâm nhập của đây có thể hạ luôn cả cái tượng đài về Mỹ ở đây luôn và xóa bỏ cái quyết tòa đài ở đây luôn. Đó là một cái âm mưu mà tài đỗ đã cấu kết với Bùi Phát, với Phan Kiều Dân, với Tổ Vũ, với bình thường sống ở đây 20 năm tôi chưa bao giờ tiếp. Nhưng tôi thấy rằng cư dân là phải làm như thế nào để chúng ta nó có sự công bằng. Ở đây chúng tôi không binh vực, đã được trí không binh vực kia với Leo ấy. Nói chung này hết, nhưng mà cái việc thành phố Westminster này, cái âm mưu mà hạ đã bị kết tội cộng sản cách đây 4 năm. Phan Kiều Dân đã nói đã trí là cộng sản, nhưng cư dân thành phố vẫn còn làm cái rất tốt, làm việc rất tốt. Rồi từ 2 năm đã có thành phố đây nó 4 năm thì Bùi Phát tới đây cũng chống luôn. Đấy, thì những cái việc như vậy thì tôi thấy là không nên. Thành đó, hôm nay tôi xin phát biểu vài cái ý như vậy. Tôi xin cảm ơn thành phố.
Speakers. He's a veteran for prison, been in prison for 10 years. Been in the city for 20 years peacefully, and he just wanted wondering why the mayor and the council has to go to a third person or another person to make a decision to run the city, and why the mayor has been accused for many wrongdoings. And there's many more, but that's all I got.
If I may answer that, he also say that, you know, when we have alpha code of ethics, that means there's a plan to take control of the city council, to destroy the city council and give all the control to the city manager.
Let's say do it, not your time.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you, that's exactly what he's saying. He said that the city council adopt the code of ethics, that means the city council basically transfer the power of the everything to the city manager. And we do not need to elect any elected official. Basically, let the city manager run the city. That's what he's saying.
All right. Next speaker.
Nãy tưởng là cô Thùy nói là tôi cũng bị chửi là con khùng con điên, mà đây là một công dân Mỹ thì có đích từ nhưng mà không sao cả, tại vì là tôi phải tổng thống là người oan mà tổng thống là người oan, viên trí tài là người oan, chủ tịch hội đồng Westminster cũng bị oan nữa. Thì thôi tôi xin phép được bắt đầu nói. Tôi đến đây để được chân thành cảm ơn nghị viên cảnh sát Đỗ Tài đã đưa ra vấn đề mưu chính đạo đức cho quý dân cử, đã giúp cho chúng tôi cái tiếng nói chính cái việc mà tu chính này mới giúp cái tiếng nói của người cử tri được đến, được support cho quý dân cử và chúng tôi bầu. Chúng tôi vote quý vị, chúng tôi yêu quý quý vị và chúng tôi bảo vệ quý vị bằng tất cả sự thật và làm việc của chúng tôi. Không ai được quyền xúc phạm khi mà được bầu rồi thì không được nên, không được quyền vì lợi dụng dân chủ nhân quyền mà chúng ta xúc phạm chúng ta đi những người đã được bầu, và khi xúc phạm những người dân cử, những người thị trưởng, những người đó là chúng ta xúc phạm đến cái lá phiếu, cái quyền của cử tri. Đó là điều không nên. Do vậy hôm nay tôi xin một lần nữa xin với tư cách là cử tri công dân Mỹ Việt Nam Cộng hòa Victoria thì Republican Liberation of Canada chân thành cảm ơn nghị viên cảnh sát trí tài đã đưa ra một cái dự luật để đã đưa ra cái sự mình chỉnh lại và nhắc nhở quý vị chúng ta là người không phải là thánh, cho nên cần phải duy trì đạo đức, và cái này là phải cần hội đồng thành phố phải cố gắng thông qua bằng tài trí của mình, bằng cái lá phiếu mà chúng tôi tín nhiệm. Tới giờ này thì thị trưởng vượt đối với tôi mà đồng bào thường nói là đây là một con cưng của thành phố Westminster, của đồng bào cử tri xin luôn. Đối với tôi vẫn đang xứng đáng, hội đồng nhân dân vẫn đang xứng đáng, nhất là cái cao sơ mà con Gerard mà tuy là người mẹ nhưng mà tôi thấy là rất là tuyệt vời khi cùng với chúng tôi đi xuống biểu tình đồng hành với đồng bào trong địa ngục tù Việt Nam, không được làm người bên trong địa ngục tù Việt Nam. Đây là một người thật sự là xứng đáng, trong hội đồng nhân dân cũng xứng đáng, nhưng mà ngày hôm nay tôi đến đây để mà tôi xin tri ân vì nghị viên Tài Đỗ đã biết đoàn kết với lại nghị viên Phát rồi bên cạnh đó. Em hay là Canada hay là Washington, tất cả đều là nước ấy, đó là nước Mỹ, phải là phân America, không thể phân biệt người này là người Mẹ, người Mỹ, người Cộng hòa. Chúng tôi vote là vì chúng tôi thấy khi mà tôi vote quý vị biết không, tất cả những người này tôi đều vote hết, cho nên là bây giờ tổng thống Donald Trump thì chính là tôi cũng vote vào trong đó, cho nên chúng tôi làm nên chiến thắng quý vị thì chính quý vị sẽ làm cho quý vị không còn chiến thắng nữa nếu như không giữ đúng lời hứa. Như vậy cái tu chính tu chính lại cái đạo đức đó rất cần, và xin qua đây tôi xin thị trưởng Tài Đức trí tài đối với tôi có giờ này vẫn là xứng đáng, cũng như là hội đồng nhân như vậy xứng đáng, mà phải là cảm ơn cái người mà nghị viên đầu mới vào nhưng mà rất là dũng cảm, dám đưa ra để lắng nghe những cái chạy họ chửi cậy họ thì nhận đặt mặt hồ cộng sản nên nó chửi cậy nó không thành vấn đề, nhưng mà quý vị thấy họ tự thú họ cộng sản với ai nữa thì bây giờ là tôi đề nghị với lại thị trưởng Trí Tạ cùng với hội đồng Westminster chúng ta đoàn kết lại. Chúng ta Phát Bùi đó là chủ tịch cộng đồng của chúng tôi. Cho nên tài đổ rất là tuyệt vời. Chúng đoàn kết lại, tan thành ông công cùng phá hoại những tỷ cả cùng những tỷ bằng sự chia rẽ đánh phá lẫn nhau, làm nhục lẫn nhau, nhất là làm nhục những người dân của chúng tôi. Tôi thật sự tôi tức lắm, nhưng mà tôi phải vì sao vậy? Luật pháp hiến pháp của tôi có quy định rồi. FBI CIA là một thằng có một tay xanh suốt đời cuộc đời, xúc phạm lắm chúng tôi, làm nhục tôi cái Westminster này, cho nên đừng có lo. Và quý vị đừng có lo, quý vị hãy nhớ là nếu giữ đúng lời hứa, giữ đúng đạo đức mà tu chính giống như là cái dự luật mà nghị viên tài đổ mà đưa ra, chúng ta hãy thông qua đi. Tôi hứa rằng nếu khi mà tổng thống đó ra trong thành phố tôi đưa có được tiền thằng cộng sản tôi sẽ dành riêng 1 tỷ đô la để mà xúc động cho thành phố Westminster và
So again, some key points. Just thank the council, Councilman Tito, for proposing the code of ethics. And remind everybody that the code of ethics needs to be passed. And she also thanked the Councilman Contreras to join the community to parade as against communists. And the code of ethics is needed. And she also commended the job well done by the mayor, and also suggests that we need to unify and. So we should approve the code of ethics, being proposed by Councilman Tito tonight.
Next set of speakers, Thuy Vo, followed by Amy Phan West, followed by Roger Mindro.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, councilman. My name is Thuy Vo. I'm a resident of Westminster City. I'm here today to listen to Westminster resident voice regarding the code of conduct for city officials. This is an ongoing debate issue for the city of Westminster. But in my view, it is an issue for the whole Vietnamese community around the city of Westminster. When you selected as a city official, your primary duty is to serve for the benefit and interest of the Westminster residents with honesty, integrity within your authority. I heard the city mayor gave honorary award for an individual who did not do or serve anything good for this city. And I heard one of the city officials appointed back and forth, brought their children to work for the city. This is not ethical at all. You have lost the trust of the citizens who voted for you, who they wanted you to serve for the best of Westminster, best of Vietnamese community.
Quý vị đã làm những người cư dân ở Westminster thất vọng vì họ đã bầu cho quý vị, nhưng quý vị đã không làm được cái việc mà họ mong muốn.
I strongly support code of conduct for the following reasons: check and balance, single voice from City Council with majority approval, restore trust from citizens, prevent legal issues that may cost city lots of money, taxes. I think this is the time I suggest all city officials should sit down, resolve the matter for best of Westminster seriously, took into account what citizens' voices and opinions. And bây giờ tôi sẽ nói vài lời tiếng Việt. Tôi là người tị nạn. Tôi qua đây lúc 12 tuổi. Tôi đi vượt biên 4 lần vì cộng sản. Ba tôi là commander ngoại trung. Phải trốn vô Sài Gòn để trốn đi vượt biên. Bao nhiêu triệu chịu cực khổ, trốn học tập. Cậu tôi chết trong tù cộng sản, đi học tập chết. Bao nhiêu uất ức khi mà tôi thấy những cái hình ảnh. Tôi không ở đây 39 năm chưa hề về Việt Nam, mà khi mà tôi thấy mà hội đồng thành phố trao bằng tưởng lục cho cô Ngô Thanh Vân, tôi rất là uất ức là cái người đó mặc cờ Việt Nam. Cái chuyện đó người ta về Việt Nam ta làm gì, kệ người ta hay là gì, nhưng mà hội đồng thành phố trao bằng thưởng như vậy 5 người, rồi phai đao 2 người không có trong đó, thì thôi ta ngưng ngay đó. Đây 3 người reissue cái bằng tưởng lục, thì cái đó rất là đau lòng cho những người tị nạn Việt Nam. Mình đưa một cái dao cho Việt Cộng, nó nói là Westminster bây giờ cũng mở đường cho Việt Cộng vào đây. Thì cái chuyện đó rất là emotional khi tôi nói, tại vì gia đình tôi từng đau khổ dưới chế độ cộng sản. Tôi xin hết.
Rồi xuống đi.
Good morning, Council, Member, and Mayor. First and foremost, I want to thank you for the staff. Actually, before, can I have a Vietnamese translator to translate for me?
I think, why don't you speak first, and we're going to translate.
Okay, let's start. Okay, first and foremost, okay, first and foremost, I want to thank the staff, city council member, mayor, city manager, city attorney for working on this revised code of ethics. Also, I wanted to thank those that are here tonight because they care about our city as well. The ethics item before you is important. It is important that our duly elected representatives, the mayor and city council, affirm our guiding principle for the highest standard of conduct. It is important how the city council interact with themselves, the city staff, and the public. It is important how our commissioners interact with themselves, the city staff, and the public. And it is crucially important how our city staff interact with themselves, commissioners, and council, and of course, the public. City staff are on the front line every day, in and out. They are ambassadors for our first impression, whether it is at the senior center, building permit center, or the police patrol on our street. How our employees interact with the public is crucial. And let me say, I think they are doing a wonderful job. That is why I recommend that the City Council adopt the version from the City of Huntington Beach because it includes city employees. This version is time-tested and it works. Most importantly, it is the only version that includes the city employees. What also makes this the preferred version is simplicity and elegant. The guiding pillars are important, is positive statement that we all can endeavor toward. Number one, responsibility. Okay. Number one, responsibility. I understand that the citizens of Westminster expect me to serve with dignity and respect, and to be an agent of the democratic process. I will seek to avoid taking action which might cause the public to question my independent judgment. I will not use my office, my position, or any city resource for personal or political gain. I promise to be prudent steward of public resources and to actively consider the impact of my decision on the financial and social stability of the city and its citizens. That's under responsibility. Fairness. I will promote consistency, equality, and non-discrimination in all of my decision. I will make decisions based on the merit of an issue, including applicable research and facts. I acknowledge the importance of the public's involvement in the decision-making process, and I will seek to encourage public participation and right to know. Respect. I will treat other public official and member of the city staff and the public with respect, patience, courtesy, and civility, even when I disagree with opinions they have expressed. Honesty. I will be honest with other public officials, city staff, the public, and others. I will seek to make decisions which are in the public's best interest, whether those decisions are popular or not. I will take responsibility for my actions, even when it may be uncomfortable to do so. So if we did adopt this, I know these pillars of Westminster resident wanted our city to run by. So in summary, I encourage our city council and mayor tonight to make a motion to approve this one-page revised code of ethics policy that includes city employees, that is simple yet elegant. And thank you. But I also want to address Jessica, resident here. Basically, with this one-page code of ethics that's proven, tested through time, through Huntington Beach Code of Ethics, it actually says in here that this code of ethics is actually given a copy to newly adopted code of ethics that will be asked to sign an acknowledged form submitted. So every city council, every commissioner, every staff, every employee, first responder, everyone on duty signs up and submits it. So that's a code of ethics. And I don't see any way that it could be twisted or confused. Thank you for your time.
There's no
Good evening, Roger Mason.
Translation or no? No, right?
There's no legal requirement. I'd like to first share a first minute or two with my neighbor, Lloyd Boyd, so she can finish her important points that she did not get to finish.
May I have the elbow, please? Speaking of the consequences of not following the city ethics and having things adopted by the city council but not implemented by the city manager, because this is what was missed. Why stop back? Weston Side, which recently acquired a Tesla, and it is registered to Casino Ridge Drive in Yorba Linda. So either he really doesn't live at one of the addresses he's given in Westminster. One address is of his grandparents. 3 addresses are actually his mother's beauty care business. Or I talked to Flo from Progressive today, and it's insurance fraud, because the insurance rates up at the top of the hill in Yorba Linda are much more favorable than down here in Westminster. So these are the consequences of not having ethics and a code of conduct or following up to make sure these checks and balances are actually implemented. In honor of Diana Carey.
Thank you, Jody. First, I'd like to brighten a little bit. I got new streetlights in my neighborhood, so I'd like to please ask Mr. Youssef, maybe in the next meeting, to give us a presentation of some of the new things that are going to go on in the city. These new streetlights literally light up the street in a direction that lights up the whole street and the cars that are parked on the side of the street. It is safer. It is better. It's lighting up the sidewalk. I don't know who designed it. I don't know who selected it, but good job. So regarding 8.1, the 8-page is really 8-page code of conduct and ethics that was put together and submitted by Mr. Bettenhausen, the Assistant City Attorney. Contains a good comprehensive list of what we the residents, we the people expect of your conduct and your ethical actions. It's really all common sense morality. Why would you be against common sense morality? You three specifically have already proven your complete lack of ethics and lack of character when you have fought against this topic at every step of the way. So if you approve a watered down version, a list of ethical rules tonight, you put such a black stain on this that so many have lost any possible trust in you already. So whatever you do tonight is probably just theater. It's really sad that you turned this into this. The last meeting where you two were called out on your nepotism, what was your answer to it? It was to double down and reaffirm that unethical actions will continue from you. And that's just pathetic. You really either need to change or get the heck out of here.
Next speakers are Mrs. Tom and Joan Frey.
Vâng thưa quý vị, bây giờ thì chúng tôi đã đi ra phía bên ngoài của phòng họp để phỏng vấn được một vài vị. Đây là bà Trần Thanh Hiền. Dường như là vừa rồi bà đứng lên phát biểu, phần lớn cái lời phát biểu của bà đều hướng về ông Tài Đỗ. Bà có thể cho biết là vì sao bà lại nêu ra những cái điều đó ngay tại cái cuộc họp thành phố ngày hôm nay thưa bà?
Bởi vì gia đình tôi đó, anh chị tôi là ở thành phố Westminster hết. Và từ ngày mà ông Tài Đỗ tôi cũng theo dõi, bởi vì tôi cũng là cái người hoạt động ở đây 30 năm rồi, trên 30 năm. Thành ra tôi thấy từ ngày ông Tài Đỗ mới đến cái thành phố này thì tôi thấy mọi chuyện nó lộn xộn quá. Cái buổi họp nào ông cũng đến, ông đưa đến một vấn đề này, vấn đề kia để mà ông ấy chỉ trích, ông đánh phá những cái thị trưởng và những nghị viên ở đây. Ông cứ bới bèo ra bọ rồi bới lung tìm vết. Thành ra cái điều đó làm cho không phải mình tôi mà tất cả nhiều người họ cũng đều rất là khó chịu với cái chuyện này. Đó là cái vấn đề. Chứ tôi thì tôi chả biết ông Tài Đỗ là ai. Tôi ở đây mấy chục năm nhưng tôi chưa bao giờ biết ông Tài Đỗ, cho nên nói về cái thù oán hay cái gì tôi không hề có. Nếu mà ông là một người mà làm việc cho cộng đồng một cách tử tế thì tôi không bao giờ tôi chống phá, ngược lại tôi sẽ ủng hộ hết lòng. Đó là cái lý do tại sao mà tôi chống ông ấy. Bởi vì tất cả những điều tôi chống là đúng chứ không sai. Cái chuyện mà ông nói về cái đạo đức, về cái code ethics đó, tất nhiên là cái nội dung đạo đức ông yêu cầu các nghị viên ở đây phải đạo đức, thì tôi thấy là bản thân ông ấy, nếu mà tôi nói ra, tôi đã nói ra trên một số đài, và nếu ông cần tôi sẽ nói thêm nữa, là ông ấy sống một cái đời sống là ông đang có vợ, ông bỏ vợ, ông đi lấy, ông lại bồ với một cái cô mà cũng là bạn của vợ ông ấy. Và cái chuyện nó công khai, bà vợ của ông bà công nhận như vậy, và các con của ông đã viết thơ đi khắp nơi để mà kêu cứu, đăng cả lên báo nữa. Nó là công khai, mà một số người lại bênh là không cho đụng tới đời tư, thì tôi thấy là vô lý quá. Là bởi vì ngay cả ông tổng thống Trump, đời tư của ông cũng bị cử tri họ cũng lôi ra, mà dù có những cái điều đúng mà cũng có nhiều điều hoàn toàn là bịa đặt. Hay là ông Kavanaugh, đó là cái ông chánh án tòa thượng thẩm, hoàn toàn không có, mà người ta cứ bịa đặt lên rồi cũng phải chịu. Đó, thành ra ông ấy là một người dân cử thì mình có. Nếu mà ông làm sai, đó là tôi thấy là không có gì là sai trái trong cái chuyện này.
Còn riêng về cái vấn đề ngày hôm nay, nhiều người đang quan tâm về cái quy tắc đạo đức, và họ bên phía mà ủng hộ thì họ cho rằng là nếu như mà thông qua cái này thì nó sẽ giúp cho hội đồng thành phố làm cái việc đúng hơn, thay vì là hội đồng thành phố sẽ có toàn quyền quyết định mà không có để ý đến những cái quy tắc đạo đức đó, thì riêng bà thì bà nghĩ như thế nào?
Tôi nghĩ là cũng phải có một số nguyên tắc đạo đức để làm việc, chứ tôi cũng không hoàn toàn là chống. Nhưng mà có những cái nguyên tắc đạo đức mà tôi thấy ông Bùi Phát và ông Tài Đỗ ngồi với nhau cùng với cái ông David Johnson đưa vào đó, nó hoàn toàn nó bất lợi cho cái cộng đồng Việt Nam ở đây. Có những cái điều mà chúng tôi bầu lên những cái người dân cử là để họ đại diện cho chúng tôi, để họ giúp chúng tôi. Ở đây thì lại bó tay, không cho mấy người đó làm gì hết, mà cái gì cũng tập trung quyền hành vào trong cái ông city manager, là ông tổng quản trị. Ông ta chỉ là cái người được bầu lên, không được bầu, là cái người mà được mướn vào. Mấy ông hội đồng thành phố này ông mướn vào, ông interview, ông ấy phỏng vấn rồi ông mướn vào, thì phải là dưới quyền của các người dân cử chứ. Nếu mà lại mướn vào để rồi để làm sếp xong thì người ta điên gì mà người ta lại mướn những cái người như vậy ha? Thế bây giờ là các ông theo như cái code ethics mà ông Tài Đỗ đưa ra là hoàn toàn mấy cái ông nghị viên này phải làm cái gì cũng phải hỏi cái ông city attorney, tức như là cái ông mà luật sư của thành phố cũng do hội đồng thành phố thuê, thì các ông lại bảo là có quyền kiểm soát và investigate, tức như là điều tra những cái nghị viên. Thì tôi thấy cái điều đó nó hoàn toàn là sai đó. Thành ra chúng tôi chỉ chống những cái điều đó thôi, còn ngoài ra những cái gì mà có lợi cho cư dân thành phố chúng tôi ủng hộ đó.
Vâng, thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là ý kiến của bà Trần Thanh Hiền. Có thể thấy rằng là trái ngược với lại những người ủng hộ của ông Tài Đỗ. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ đợi xem kết quả của cuộc họp ngày hôm nay như thế nào, và chúng ta sẽ hỏi thêm ý kiến của một vài nhân vật nữa. Xin cảm ơn bà.
Và xem cái ý kiến này.
Ý kiến mà nói về đạo đức là cái điều đó là không đúng. Cái ghế ngồi quý vị đây là những tu sĩ, những thượng tọa là những linh mục, tại vì những người nó có khả năng về đạo đức, nhưng mà đâu có làm được đâu. Đạo đức cũng không có làm cái việc đó. Chỉ có chính trị gia, người ta chuyên nghiệp, người ta hiểu rõ cái nhân tình thế thái người ta làm. Thành ra ông nói về đạo đức á, mà tư cách đạo đức ông không có thì ông thật ra ông nói về đạo đức được. Đó là một cái điều tầm bậy. Ông ăn nói như là tào lao, ông mới là mang danh người chủ viên, nhưng mà tôi thấy ông mới là không xứng đáng. Và nhiều người mơ hồ nghe ông nói không hiểu rõ cái thông lý đó. Mà ông đánh phá anh em ruột mà đánh nhau như vậy, thì tôi hỏi cái cộng đồng như vậy nát ghét một người, thì ông có thấy đau lòng không? Ông đâu có đau đâu, ông chỉ muốn đá anh em ra khỏi nhà thôi. Cái nhà này là của cộng đồng, không phải riêng ông đâu. Và thị trưởng trí đạo, ông đừng có nghĩ rằng cái lá phiếu của nghị viên với lá phiếu của thị trưởng nó khác nhau nha. Thị trưởng người ta đã ứng cử riêng, người ta được bầu như vậy xứng đáng thị trưởng. Còn nghị viên á thì muốn lên á thì ông cứ việc ra thử coi, ông có ra nổi không? Cái chuyện đó là chuyện của ông, nhưng mà ông đừng có lên là cao bằng cái lá phiếu của thị trưởng và lá phiếu của nghị viên, giống nhau không giống nhau đâu. Cái thứ hai là nói về cái việc là đạo đức của ông á, thì tôi hỏi cử tri bầu cho một người như vậy thì muốn trao cái quyền cho cái người được bầu đó, để cái người đó có quyền thay mình làm những cái gì đó. Nhưng mà tiếc rằng như là muốn xóa cái quyền đấy thì tôi đi bầu làm cái gì? Người thị trưởng phải có quyền chứ, không có quyền thì là ông mới ngồi đó làm ông bụt ngồi đó để cho người ta dẫn chơi này. Ông đừng lên nghĩ như vậy là sai lầm. Tôi khuyên ông không đủ tư cách đạo đức cá nhân và gia đình ông nói như vậy. Ông đã làm những chuyện mà không ai mà ấy được, nhưng mà ông cứ khuyên người khác về đạo đức. Ông cứ nói là chỉ trích xây dựng, chỉ trích nhưng mà xây dựng mà ông chỉ trích phá hoại. Tôi nghĩ là ông là cái người rất là ghét. Tôi xin cảm ơn.
Just key points on here. Just want to say that the city, just like families, and we should take criticism, and we shouldn't go against the community. And the politician doesn't need to have a code of ethics. And that's all I have got. So.
Next speaker.
Next speaker is Joan Frey.
My name is Joan Fry. I'm grateful for this this opportunity to address our council and also to put on record my observations. I first want to say I'm a long-time resident of the city of Westminster. I've lived here, been homeowner since '94. And I am recently retired from a county organization that I worked for 20.5 years. I was, over a period of time, when you work that long for an organization, you end up having several different roles. But for the most part, I managed and was the liaison between the engineering department and our contracts division. And so when Dave Johnson and some other people on our community website were posting about this code of ethics and the issues with it, that in essence was my job. It was to make sure that in every facet of our organization that we followed the rules. It's important to have rules, and it's important that they be followed. And the point I want to make about it is, I'm looking at this list of 25 things that were to be nixed from the code of conduct. And the other thing I can say is, if you nix one of them or two of them, none of that matters if no one signs the code of conduct, number one, and if there are no consequences provided in the code of conduct. If those two things, if it isn't actually a contractual agreement, that you agree that you will have a certain code of conduct and that there will be a consequence if it's not followed, it's a moot point. There's no point in having one. It's what I have to say about that. And I hope that's not what happens with our city. Because even if that gets passed, even if somehow that gets ratified and we decide we're not going to have a code of conduct, I will quote one of my favorite authors, William Shakespeare, who said, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." And what has happened, and if you really look at, and this is another really important thing about working in the engineering field, whenever we do a project, one of the most essential parts at the end of a project is what we call lessons learned. You look back at what you did, and you glean from that what problems came up. You know, how can we make sure that the next project that we do is going to be better? And that's not just to keep, you know, contractors happy or whatever. It's to keep things working and functioning properly. And so I say, maybe if you succeed in getting these things mixed, you know, from the code of conduct and it gets ratified and approved, there's still consequences that come. But the problem is they come to our city in the form of lawsuits and corruption, and I don't want to see that happen. I love this city, and I love this country. I love our constitutional republic, and we can learn a lot. And I believe that our city should be a microcosm of how our Constitution was set up in the first place, and that means checks and balances. We have 3 different branches of government for that purpose. We're not supposed to have one person making all the decisions. It's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be spread out, and we're supposed to be people that have to be accountable to others in the organization. And I know that firsthand. I had a lot of role in writing and documenting our policies and procedures for the organization that I worked for. And I also was in charge of responding to public information requests and any records that had to be provided in the event that there's disagreements. As a city, I'm sure you know, that is something that can happen. If things get out of hand, if they don't go the way that they're supposed to, having no code of conduct for people to know what to follow as elected officials, if we don't have one, it's the same thing as trying to build a house with no blueprints. It's just, you know, you're just kind of shooting from the hip and saying, well, let's see how it turns out. And I don't want to see that happen to our city. We've seen it enough. We've seen it with the city of Bell. I mean, it just got to be corrupt, and then it caused problems. We've had those kinds of problems in our own city. And we've had things that had, you know, people who got greedy or, you know, power hungry, and then they had to be taken down. That's what's going to happen. I would rather we not do that. I would like you to have a code of conduct. I
everyone in this room. Last three speakers, Dennis Phelps, followed by Robert Harrison, and last speaker is Dewey Nguyen.
Mayor Todd, Congress members, good evening. When I came here, I didn't have a plan to say anything. But now that I sit and listen to all of this going on, what's happening, and I see this sign up here that says, "In God we trust." But we have to go farther than that, because if we don't trust each other, you don't know who God we're trusting. And the whole thing is I was drafted from California, and I spent a year in Vietnam. I was an Army engineer there, just a dirt digger. I built highways, and I got to know a lot of people in the villages and everything. And the older people, the ones I trusted over there were the mountain guards, because they were old and they knew what it was to work. They got their hands dirty. They had an integrity about them that was very incredible, because what they said is what they did. And the people from the city who wore the suits and the ties and everything, and I have a suit and a tie, but I don't wear it. Not until somebody dies, then I wear it. But when I see this going on here, all of these people sitting here, the people who, I don't know, too many people that were born in California here, born in Westminster. I remember when Westminster was mostly orange groves and strawberry patches. And I finished high school here, and then I went to a college of hard knocks in Southeast Asia. And I learned over there that the Vietnamese people, I have a special place in my heart for them, because I saw the heartache and the pain that the people went through. The older people here know that pain, and they know that suffering. Some of the younger people, they're not millennials, but they don't know what the struggle is, and they take advantage of what's here. But it really saddens me when I see someone come from such a hard life, that they had such a real struggle to live and to get by, and to take care of each other, and to watch out for each other, and to know that when they went home to their home, that they were going to be safe that night, because someone was there to make sure that no one could get in on them. But here it seems like everybody's out to pad their own pocket. They're out to take care of their own clan, whatever, and it's really sad. It's sad for me to see this happening in this community from such a fine bunch of people. Because I mean, I put my life on the line to defend the Vietnamese people, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I couldn't do it as good as I did before, because I don't move like I did, but I'm just saddened by trying to get rid of all of the balances and checks that are put in to keep everybody trustworthy. Because being trustworthy is the only thing you have. Everything that you get for yourself, everything in this world is nothing but vanity. Because when you die, not one bit of it goes in the casket with you. Nothing. Unless somebody owes you money and they write you a check and put it in there. And then something might go with you, and that's about it. But the thing is when you go, nothing goes with you, including your own values or net worth or whatever you have. what counts is the legacy you leave behind of taking care of other people. Because that's the legacy that goes on and lives on in their minds. Because as long as it lives in their minds, you're alive. But if it doesn't, you're dead to the world. Nobody cares. You look at some of the great presidents that we've had, and everybody knows who they are. Great leaders, they know who they are. But the leaders that were selfish and only took care of their own, they didn't last very long at all.
Mayor Trực, City Council. I'm here representing the Vietnamese, Vietnam Veterans of America and some South Vietnamese military organizations. I was asked to come here to do this. Thank you for taking the good, bad, and the ugly tonight. What is being presented here tonight? Questions of truth, honesty, integrity, fairness, right and wrong, and of course, nepotism. And I'm here to talk about the Vietnam War Memorial. I'm an advisor to that memorial, and I have been for 25 years. But it was an idea. And that, what is happening there at the memorial is a part of this. Last fall, some of the stuff I've said before, last fall there were a number of city council meetings where a licensing agreement to build a museum and Vietnamese visitor center at the memorial, removing the playground, was approved. It was forced through with opposition. It was only Vietnamese directed. There was no American Vietnam veteran input. The memorial was built with both Americans and South Vietnamese creating it and developing it. Granted, a joint committee was suggested where we get American Vietnam veterans, South Vietnamese, whatever, but I don't know if anything came of that. I was asked, but I guess I didn't want to be a part of it because the memorial was wrong. There were subsequent city council meetings where more opposition to the licensing agreement, and the individual who was given the license, is that political nepotism? Someone on the city council told me that the licensing agreement was rescinded. I don't think that's happened. We inquired and I was told that nothing happened. But I want to get to the Vietnam War Memorial itself. It is a sanctuary. It's a holy place that those who paid the ultimate price, both American and South Vietnamese, should be honored. And those that lived through the war, that were there, who lost their comrades and their family, they should be honored. There shouldn't be a museum, there shouldn't be a visitor center. All this building is taken away from what the memorial was meant to be. We need to honor those people that paid the price and those that still suffer. It just, to me, all that's going on there is cheapening what the memorial was meant to be.
Thank you.
Mayor, council members. First thing, it's kind of ironic that cộng đồng người Việt Nam, cộng đồng người Việt quốc gia hôm nay, tonight, applauding a traitor, a turncoat, a Benedict Arnold, this Mr. Nguyễn Hồng right here, he turned his back on the community and he went back to communist Vietnam, but yet you people applauded him. So where does spirit fall forward?
Can you talk to us?
Excuse me, sir. Second, I'm here tonight because of you, Mr. Dio, council member. You on Facebook and social media, you're talking about transparency. You, as a council member, as a police officer, you make open threat to an individual who criticizes you on Facebook. Is that a act of a police officer or a council member? You challenge me to talk one-on-one. Well, guess what? We're talking right now one-on-one. You accuse me, and also actually accuse me of stolen valor. I'm a volunteer of the California Military Reserve. Okay, that consists of 6,000 volunteers in the state of California. We is the first line of defense when there's a natural disaster in the state of California or in other states. You just insulted 6,000 volunteers in the state of California. And guess what? My JAC officer will contact you for what you just said. That's one point. Secondly, where are you getting up and threatening other members who criticize you? You can't answer the question, can you? You're a public figure. You have to endure criticism and also praises from everyone else. That's your job. You threaten them, you overstep your boundary. Third, a lady earlier mentioned we're a constitutional republic. You're right, she is right. We are a constitutional republic. Our country, our states, and also our cities, we use laws and regulation as a guide to run a city, not code of ethics. Code of ethics is just individual interpretation, like I mentioned previously. You use this as a leverage to attack these three individuals right here. You and your minions, calling them Gang of Three. Well, you, Fat Boy, and Jen Nguyen, I called you three of the new triads of OC. Even game, right? You call them names, I call you back. Symbols up. They do what's the best for the city. Your job was elected to solve city issues, not this stuff. It's the code of ethics. She appointed Charlie's daughter, son or daughter, vice versa. Does that affect individual lives? No. Does that help the city progress or fix its budget situation? No, it doesn't. Does it help solve the homeless situation? No, it doesn't. Does it help with the crime situation in the city of Westminster? No, it doesn't. You're picking a fight that has no leverage, no nothing at all. You're just making an issue out of nothing. Your purpose is to divide the community, the Caucasian, and other communities against the Vietnamese. Also, Vietnamese against Vietnamese. I love it. For you to do that, what's your end game? Honestly, you talk about ethic, right? Your ethic is this: you pick a woman to fight. Is that ethical of you? Is it transparency to you when you had your commissioner, David Johnson, draft up this ethics? Failure to disclose to everyone else that he's your commissioner, you appointed him. Is that ethic? And by the way, Mr. Johnson, a commissioner is the appointed position. It's considered to be volunteer. You do not get a salary nor benefits. If you don't understand the word volunteer, I will gladly educate you and also teach you the meaning of it. Okay? But it's not an employee, you don't get benefits.
Yes, they do. You're wrong. Yes. You're wrong on everything.
I was traffic commissioner of City of Westminster. I do not receive any benefits from the city, nor any pension from the city. Thank you.
Next speaker, Trong, and last speaker, Mark Lawrence.
I strongly believe, I want to speak the way it means, so everybody can understand what's going on in this city. Kính thưa quý vị, hôm nay tôi đến đây với tư cách là một người có thể nói là sinh hoạt trong cộng đồng người Việt thành phố Westminster rất nhiều. Ngay cả ông thị trưởng, bà phó thị trưởng, tất cả các nghị viên ở ngay đều có mặt trong chương trình của chúng tôi. Cái nguyên do mà gây ra những cái vụ lộn xộn này, tôi nghĩ rằng hướng về ông luật sư của thành phố Westminster. Ông hoàn toàn chịu trách nhiệm về tất cả những sự việc mà đã làm cho cái cơn khủng hoảng của thành phố này. Vì trước tiên, gần đây thì chắc quý vị đã biết ngày 19 tháng 1 năm 1974, 75 chiến sĩ của Hải quân Việt Nam đã hy sinh tại Hoàng Sa. Ông luật sư của thành phố Westminster phải biết tất cả những cái gì liên quan đến được quyền hoặc không được quyền xây dựng ở tại cái tượng đài chiến sĩ. Trước khi quý vị bỏ phiếu, quý vị có tham khảo hay là không? Hay là quý vị không biết gì hết thì quý vị bỏ phiếu bằng lòng hay không bằng lòng? Để rồi bây giờ sẽ đến một cái sự kiện Hội Cửu Long có thể thưa lại thành phố. Thì quý vị đã bỏ phiếu chấp thuận cho Hội Cửu Long được xây dựng cái tượng đài Hoàng Sa. Quý vị không có hiểu biết, quý vị không có nghiên cứu để rồi quý vị bỏ phiếu, và cái ông luật sư thành phố quý vị trả tiền để làm gì? Không có tham khảo tài liệu, không có tham khảo tất cả những chi tiết về miếng đất tượng đài chiến sĩ được quyền làm cái gì hay là không làm cái gì. Kính thưa quý vị, đã từ lâu ông luật sư, ngay cả vấn đề ông cảnh sát trưởng Baker, ông là người có mặt trên chương trình truyền hình với tôi, và ông Thay Diệp đã nói rằng nếu tôi biết những sự việc như thế này tôi sẽ không làm như điều đó. Quý vị sợ ra tòa, quý vị sợ ấy, quý vị bằng lòng nghe lời ông này, để rồi rút cuộc quý vị thấy ngày hôm nay quý vị phải đối diện với một vụ thương kiệt của cảnh sát. Điều đó ai trả tiền? Kính thưa quý vị, những người dân của chúng tôi đến đây, và để rồi những cái bất đồng ý kiến chia rẽ lẫn nhau, bên này đã phá bên này, bên kia đã phá bên nọ, chỉ có một mục đích duy nhất là thành phố để tan rã. Quý vị mướn một người luật sư không hiểu được gì hết, trước khi quý vị đưa ra bỏ biểu quyết để cho cái Hội Cửu Long xây dựng cái tượng đài, thì ông luật sư phải đọc cái điều lệ của cái miếng đất đó như thế nào, được quyền xây hay là không được quyền xây, để quý vị bỏ phiếu. Để bây giờ quý vị bỏ phiếu, quý vị có đọc cái tham khảo cái tài liệu gì không? Để bây giờ Hội Cửu Long họ vận động biết bao nhiêu công của, bây giờ quý vị 5 người, rồi bây giờ lại có những cái phản ứng như vậy, thì quý vị nghĩ như thế nào? Một lần nữa, tôi nghĩ rằng thành phố này gần trên 100.000 dân, trong đó có hơn 50% là những người Mỹ gốc Việt. Quý vị cần phải sửa chữa lại. Và tôi nghĩ rằng quý vị là những người muốn luật sư cho phần luật sư thành phố đưa ra điều lệ cho quý vị làm việc. Quý vị là những người muốn luật sư làm việc cho quý vị. Tôi hỏi quý vị thành thật trả lời. Cái ngày quý vị bỏ phiếu cho cái vấn đề xây dựng tượng Hoàng Sa, ông luật sư có nói cho quý vị biết về điều gì, những cái điều lệ như thế nào không? Ông lại lương để làm cái gì? Ông lại lương để làm cái gì? Ngay cả vấn đề ông ký một cái gọi là resolution recommendation, tôi không biết là ông đúng hay sai, nhưng với cái luật pháp không có ai mà có thể nói tôi đại diện cho những người này, nhưng những người này họ không bằng lòng về cái vấn đề đó. Thì tất nhiên là quý vị thấy rằng ông luật sư này còn lên nói ông làm như vậy là đúng. Quý vị mướn một người mà không hiểu cái gì hết. Tôi không biết học luật học ở đâu được. Ông không thể đại diện cho những người mà tôi đã hỏi ông Nguyễn Mạnh Trí, bà Kimberly Hồ, ông Concheras và ông Cao Sầm Mem Đỗ. Mọi người đều không biết gì về cái vấn đề này hết. Vậy mà ông luật sư cũng không còn nói là còn bên vực mà còn biểu rằng điều này làm đúng. Ông không thể đại diện cho những người mà khi chưa được phép của họ. Một cái người có thể nói là ấu trĩ nhất, học hành thấp nhất cũng hiểu được điều đó. Quý vị mướn một ông luật sư để ông luật sư không biết cái gì để cho cái thành phố thể tan hoang cái trần đó. Ngay bây giờ quý vị thấy, quý vị đã thường biết bao nhiêu tiền cho cảnh sát, thành phố đã biết bao nhiêu tiền cùng chỉ về một người luật sư. Ông luật sư đã nói với là ông thị trưởng với ông Thay Diệp, quý vị nên hòa giải để làm gì? Để khỏi phải tốn tiền nhiều. Bây giờ quý vị thấy bao nhiêu người là cứ tiếp tục thưa thành phố. Trong ngày mai ông Castro, ông Contreras cũng lại thưa thành phố vì những cái vấn đề mà ông ta không có bằng lòng chấp nhận ký vào cái đó. Nhưng bây giờ thì cô Thanh Vân vẫn sử dụng cái có tên của hai ông này đi rêu rao khắp mọi nơi. Cái quý vị đây tương lai của thành phố, tương lai của thành phố, và quý vị cần phải nghĩ về đến một trong những người mà gọi là ông luật sư của thành phố đã không làm tròn nhiệm vụ. Cảm ơn quý vị.
So the speakers have been involved with the community for a long time, and he just want to point out the responsibilities from the city attorneys that he should know the requirements, for the building of the memorial wall for the Vietnamese Navy, and also the lawsuit, from the former chief of the police, and should know whether the park should be allowed to have such memorial wall being built at that location. And he also said that the city attorney should not allow the mayor to issue the resolution without the others' council knowledge. So please consider the city future and for the city future, and look at our city attorney. That's right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Jones, Mr. Manfro. I actually wasn't going to speak. I was just sitting here observing and listening at utter horror and how our city's being broken in half. But the minute an insinuation was made about possible racism being divided in our town, absolutely not. I have lived in this town since 1971, since I was 6 years old. I could tell you right there on those pictures which mayors have been indicted by grand juries here in Orange County. Very sad. So we're not talking about racism. We're talking about common sense. This is what the people in this community want. We've seen enough black eyes, whatever they want to call it, I'm sorry, I'm from England, I only understand English and profanity, and I ain't going to use the latter. But to have this on our community at this point, in this stage of the game, because it's not really a game, it really isn't. And the people that love this town, like myself, we don't like it at all. And for once again, the insinuation of racism to be thrown down, no. Not in a town where Councilmember Contreras just brought two lovely gentlemen up here who made a lovely scene for that park. That's what our town's about, not this racial divide. And I'm not going to stand for that. And if anybody knows me, knows that I come to the council, I've had my differences, but I've always shown respect. Always. And that's what needs to happen, folks. A lot of my neighbors are Vietnamese. I get along wonderfully with them. Just like all of you. So please, when you get up here, if you're going to insult, throw racial division, please don't do it. If you think it, don't say it, not in our town. We've had too many of those problems in the past. We want to bury those problems and not resurrect them. Not anymore. Not anymore. How do you think Sylvia Mendez and the Mendez family would feel about that? In a case that, when you bring the name up, and last week, folks, was just the anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education. How many people know that case? Hardly anybody knows Mendez versus Westminster. That's something to be proud of, folks. I am. And pardon me, I'm a white guy. I was born in England. But I'll tell you what, I became a citizen. I love my country. I truly love my town. But I don't love what's going on. And I show respect to my council. And I'm truly sorry for any of the insinuations, the insults that have been thrown at you tonight. Thank you.
Speakers.
All right, thank you so much. So we don't have any other speakers. I'd like to close for communication, and first I'd like to thank all the members from the committee who are here to raise either concerns or other questions for us. I think your presence here today are really important. It really show five us that you really care for the city. Either you agree or disagree with everything we did. I really want to thank all the sacrifice, all the services, Vietnam war veterans and the South Vietnamese veterans during the Vietnam War. And there is a concern from one of the person came to speak about the legality of the Freedom Park and monument. I truly believe that the city will own the park. However, I like to confirm with the city attorney for that. The city will own the park, am I right? She owns the park. Okay. Thank you for that. So I really want to thank everyone for being here. Either you oppose or support with any member of the city council. I really want to thank you for coming here and speak your mind. I believe that you want to see the city council action on item 8.1. So I'd like to ask city council to move that item forward so we can have opportunity to discuss. So may I have a motion to move item 8.1 forward?
Motion to move 8.1 forward.
All right. Can I have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second to move item 8.1 forward. And the motion 8.1 is continue from the meeting of April 24, 2019, conduct for elected and appointed officials. And if you read about the staff report, there are three versions. So, City Council, we need to, I think we need to select either one of them. All right.
Mayor Todd, we still need a vote for moving the item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, please.
That motion carried 401 with Councilmember Contreras absent to move item 8.1 to today.
All right. So,
Mayor,
Councilmember Nguyen?
Yes. First of all, I would like to let make it clear that none of us here from this body have ever rejected or with the intention not to adopt the code of ethics. I want to make it clear to you, if you have any proof of any of these people here, unless I speak for myself, but I challenge you, if any of these people here have made any statement that they are not or I am not accepting the code of ethics, then prove it to us. That's number one. I want to reaffirm with you that I have never rejected it or have any intention of not adopting the code of ethics. What we did was we saw the conflict of interest. We asked to take it back and take a look at that and come back today to present it to you. It's very clear. Now, before I go deeper into my reasoning as what I'm about to do,
I would like to share with you a couple of slides from the ethic training that I attended earlier this year. Please, would you please and I'm sure this is for sure a reminder for every one of us here at the dais. Slide number 1. Assembly Bill 1234, ethics training, is a state-mandated ethics training for local agency officials. Receive at least 2 hours of training every 2 years. And of course, if you are new, you must take a training in the first year. Second slide, please. I would like to convey some of the golden rules that I have from the training to you. The public expects local officials to act ethically, whether or not doing so is required by law. Very clear. And one of the quote that I liked so much from President Thomas Jefferson said, when a man assumes a public trust, he should consider himself as a public property. And I would like to move to the next slide. This is another golden rule that we should take it to heart. These rules are minimum standard and universal ethical values such as trustworthiness, responsibility, loyalty, and fairness. Every elected official should take that to heart. And please remember this, because I will come back. Okay, I read it again. Universal ethical values such as trustworthiness, responsibility, loyalty, and fairness. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, there will much more detailed information that we'll cover in the ethics training session. And along with the required training for every 2 years, there were state and federal laws governing that all of us here must follow. In short, ethics must come from you. And of course, everyone has the right of their opinions. You solely have the chance to voice your opinion. I reserve my right to my opinions, and therefore I vote for the one that I believe. I had the chance to review the 3 proposed options and found that the best choice is the option in the attachment 2, which came from a constituent that presented to us last meeting. And she was here this morning. She was here now to present it to us. That's the attachment number 2. I ask, would you please, Christine, can you put it up for me, please? The attachment number 2. So in short, it is short, it's crystal clear, it's straight to the point, as I outlined to you, for you in the slide number 3, which I pointed to you earlier. In the training material, okay? This is training material. Trustworthiness, responsibility, loyalty, and fairness. Besides, it was already adopted by the neighboring city. It is definitely has been tested and applied by everyone there. So it's certainly a safe way to adopt it. With that said, I would like to make a motion to adopt the option in attachment 2 as Westminster City Code of Ethics.
Yes, I'd like to speak on page 1, please. For the sake of transparency, I would like to go over the timeline relating to, or shall I say, when the ethics, the code of ethics was brought on the agenda. And that was February 27. So February 27, I actually met with our clerk and went over the timeline, just so you understand why on the 24th of April, I did what I did. So February 27th, the ethics item was brought on, and it was the very day that Mr. David Johnson gave to each person from the dais, each council member and mayor, the proposal that he wanted to work on the code of ethics, and he wanted to do so because he felt that he could be unbiased and he could work with everyone. And so on the 13th, shall I say, before we go to the 13th of March, that was the next meeting, I want to explain to you that on the 6th of March, Mr. David Johnson applied for the the Park and Rec Commission. And that was his application, was March 6th. So when I appointed him February 27th, he was not a commissioner. So as I said, this is for transparency's sake, and I wanted to, so that you understand why and what happened, what sequence of events happened. So on the 13th of March, Mr. David Johnson was appointed as a commissioner of the Park and Rec by Councilman Taido. So obviously, from the time he was appointed until the following meeting, there was already plans to work with Mr. Taido, and then he was appointed to be the commissioner of Mr. Taido. On March 27th, a month later, he brought the first draft for review. It was presented, but there was no discussion. Okay, so as you could see that from the time he applied for the Park and Rec Commission and eventually became Mr. Councilman Taido's commissioner, 3 weeks passed. Okay. So on the 24th, which was the following meeting, the 24th of April, I proposed to take Mr. Johnson off the ethics code due to him showing bias with his personal attacks against the mayor, council member, and myself, and also due to conflict of interest because these very code of ethics was going to be applied to him since he became a commissioner. So then I asked the city attorney, we did not reject, and I agree with Councilman Chi Charlie Wen, that we at no point reject the code of ethics. We did not discuss, there was no discussion. On that date, April 24th, I asked the city attorney to work with the council members and the mayor, with the council members and mayors giving input. And that's what happened in the past. And today, we brought on the 3 versions. And today we are, for the first time, we're discussing the 3 versions and voting on it. So I just wanted, for transparency again, I want you to understand why and what happened. So please don't say that we rejected the ethics code. Okay? So in regards to today's agenda, 8.1, it is that we distinguish ethics. It is very important that we distinguish ethics from conduct. Mixing the two together runs the risk of confusing the public as rules that regulate the legality of what we do versus those that merely regulate the proper procedure of our meetings and interaction with staff. In matters of ethics, fortunately, we are not starting from a blank slate. We have many laws and regulations that are already on the books that define what we can and cannot do. Some of those laws include state law, the FPPC, the Brown Act, Robert's Rules, etc. I know that Mr. Taido, when he first came on board, and that was like probably not the very first meeting, the first few meetings, he did apologize for unknowingly violating the Brown Act because he did not know what the Brown Act was. The rest of us, as elected officials, we are presumed to know all those laws. We are accountable to voters. We are bound by these laws. Our violations, even if inadvertent or out of ignorance, are subject to penalties. Therefore, we should undertake to create our own code of ethics only if we feel that there is a need to cover those conducts not already described in the law. Copying some of the provisions in the laws to craft our own code will almost by definition be incomplete. Therefore, the purpose for such an effort will simply be for political stunt. Before we go down this path or regulation already regulating such conducts, the code of ethics should be a set of principles and guidelines. It is not a law. It should be short, crisp, and general. It should give me the flexibility to do my job because I will not give up the right to represent my constituents. As to rules of conduct, this is simply a set of etiquette to regulate civil discourse by this body. We should not deceive voters that somehow being polite and orderly in our conduct rises to the level of transparency and ethics. Again, we should not allow political grandstanding be used to mislead the general public. The proposed so-called Code of Ethics introduced by Councilmember Taido exemplifies what I said above. What does it mean to work for the common good of people? I don't need a code of ethics to tell me to comply with the law of the nation, the state of California, and the city. What does it mean to have my professional and personal conduct be above reproach? How I run my business and my life outside of my work with the city and staff is none of anyone's business. I'm not a 5-year-old. I don't need someone to tell me to respect the process. So now I would like to second the motion, the attachment 2 of 8.1.
All right, we have a motion, second on the floor, Councilman Taido.
I just want to remind the City Council that the reason I proposed the code of ethics is because that was a direct response to the former chief of police Kevin Baker lawsuit that's filed against the city, which was making allegations about the city council members and the mayors at that time was violating the code of conduct and ordered the city staff to do works for them directly. So I'm looking at the 3 codes of ethics right in front of me. The version 1, 4 pages. That was featured a new version, and most of it, just like most of the comment doing a public comments, the conducts were removed from the original drafted version that was drafted by Mr. David Johnson and the city attorney. The version attachment number 2 is the code of ethics that model after Huntington Beach. Well, the thing is, we have to compare apple to apple, not apple to oranges. Huntington Beach doesn't have a population of about 50,000 Vietnamese people, and they do not suffer any facing any lawsuit in the past. Allegation of misconduct by the city council member towards city staff. And it's pretty much the first attachment 1 and 2 is a gutted version, and strip of all the conducts from it and make it kind of worthless. It's remove all the important factor of how we hold our elected official accountable to the people and not for personal gain or interest. When I originally proposed a very simple code of conduct, the majority of the city council rejected by forming an ad hoc committee consists of a resident and a city attorney. Well, initially was, I think I remember correctly, Mayor Chita and Councilman Nguyen, but then the Vice Mayor Ho changed their mind and then appointed Mr. Johnson and the city attorney. I have no hands in it. It didn't matter to me as long as one person is a resident of our city. After spending several weeks and days drafting the second set of code of ethics between the city attorney and Mr. Johnson, the majority of the council rejected again, and citing that it was too long, complicated, and Mr. Johnson had a conflict of interest because he served on the city commission. It was very apparent that by the irrational reaction of Vice Mayor Ho that she will have no intention to support any of the code of ethics. Well, Councilman Nguyen showed his colors last time as well. So tonight we have the code of ethics. The new code of ethics that's removed 20 plus provision of the draft, the one drafted by Mr. Johnson and our city attorney, deputy district attorney, the city attorney, Mr. Ben Hauser. So I'm going to read a few of these provisions so that you can see how unreasoned, unethical, and irrational it is to remove these. So number one, remove the entire section of the code of conduct. Well, if you remove this, then what is the version we are voting today should be called? Code of whatever, code of misconduct. I just want to know to make sure that what we're going to vote on since we remove the code of conduct. Number two, to say that members shall perform their duties in accordance to the rules of order established by the city council. Well, so if it is removed, what rules of order are we perform our duty under? I understand that the Robert's Rule of Order, is that correct? What's wrong with leaving it in there? If there's no rules of order, then do we get to say and do whatever we want at the city council meeting? Will our constituents be able to speak at any given time, shouting at us, interrupting us during our comments, speak for as long as they want? Can people bring the full quiet and sing when we are conducting a council meeting? What about each other? Can we interrupt each other at any moment? Can we scream at each other, take order at the meeting from a mayor, and sit at any seat that we want? Well, I just want to know what rule of order are we going to follow since it is now removed from the original code of ethics. Number three, members should prepare themselves for public issues and focus on the business at hand. Prepare yourself for public issues. Does it mean that going forward, I don't need to read any agenda, any relevant material before the council meeting and vote on each particular item? Can I cast a vote based on how I feel that day? Instead of learning and understand the issue at hand before I vote? And focus on the business at hand. If you remove this, does that mean that going forward, we would not focus on the city business? We will focus on personal business. We will focus on people's business, community business. Again, code of conduct is very, very important. We need that. Number four, members should base their decision on merits and substance of the matter at hand. It's gone. So how should we base our decision on? If there's a merit and substance of that issue, then what? Based on what our dog were thinking, our political donors think, special interest, or based on what we can personally and financially gain to make our decision? Number five, members should base the decision on facts presented at the hearing and the law. If we do not base our decision on fact, what should we base on? We base on the decision on what special interest group had to say, or based on what we will gain personally and financially, which is illegal. Number 6, no member should request or grant a special consideration, treatment, or advantage to any person beyond that which is available to every other citizen in similar circumstances or need. You take that out. So going forward, do we not treat everyone equally, regardless if they are a constituent, a voter, a resident, a political ally, a donor? Do we pick and choose who we favor or help based on how much money they give us, their ethnicity, gender, age, height, and how much money we will gain financially? So this is like, if it's not what you know, but who you know. Is that a message we're sending out by taking this conduct out? And Mr. City Attorney, can we discriminate against people because of their gender, race, etc.? No. Thank you. This violated the code of ethics. This is basically violating the oath of office that I took. I remember when I sworn in. I sworn to protect the Constitution of the United States and the state of California. We cannot discriminate anyone based on their race, gender, and age, etc. Well, number 8, during public comment, I heard several people mention number 8. No member shall attempt to influence the hiring, rate of pay, or appointment of any relative by the city. No relative of a member shall be hired into a position unless proper notification and advertisement has been made to ensure all potential applicants receive an equal opportunity for employment. No relative of a member shall be hired into the position where one relative would have supervision or control over another. Do we have a nepotism policy for city staff, right, Mr. City Manager? Absolutely. And then we have the law. With the elected official, we don't have to follow a nepotism policy. We take it out. City council member, number 9, city council member shall not appear on behalf of the private interest of third party before the city council or any other subservient body of the city. So all businesses who want special treatment from us, you should need to hire us and pay us extremely well so we can represent you in the city of Garden Grove, Stanton, kind of Beach Valley, even in front of the city council. Is that a message we are sending out by removing this provision? Number 11, members should encourage others to report unethical issues in a manner that can be both anonymous and unbiased. So the message is, if we don't report any unethical issue or matter, and if you do, we will punish you. Is that what we want people to know? Number 12, members should seek and ensure that individual they have designated to represent their interests during political campaign act within the ethical best practice. Well, if we don't want them to act ethically, then we are saying that we want them to act unethically, and you are free to be unethical and take advantage of others as city official. Number 14, be prepared, punctual, and on topic. That's gone. Why should we be prepared and be on time at the city council meeting? We can all show up at any time. And then, we might as well remove the quorum revision as well. Number 15, to be fair and equitable in allocating public hearing time. So going forward, we don't need to be fair and treat anybody equally. We or the resident can interrupt, scream, singing during the hearing. That's gone. Yeah, this is my favorite right here. Treat all staff as professional. It's gone. So what does that mean?
We don't have to treat the staff professionally. We can yell, scream, and throw things at them, harassing them, calling them at 1 o'clock in the morning. If not, then how are we supposed to treat city staff? Unprofessionally? What does that mean? Number 19, do not criticize an individual employee in public. Rather report concern to the city manager in a private corresponding or conversation. Should we just yell at a police officer who stopped our relative or friends on the street? We should interrupt. It's gone. Number 20, do not get involved in administrative function. Members acting in their individual capacity should not attempt to influence city staff on the making of appointments, awarding a contract, selecting a consultant, processing development application, and granting of city licenses and permits. Well, former Chief of Police Kevin Baker made the allegation that our city council member has stopped him in the hallway and tried to tell him who should be promoted in the police department. City council member can tell code enforcement or the police department to check or do bar check on each other, political enemy. Number 22, city council members should encourage commissioners to act independently and not threaten to remove them in situations where they disagree about an issue. I am not surprised. This is a business guy. Now, number 23, be respectful of diverse opinion. It's common. We take it out because we don't think that we should respect each other's opinions, especially those that are different from us, from ours. The reason that we want to establish a code of ethics, so that the comprehensive code of ethics, so that we can deal and respond directly to Chief Kevin Baker's lawsuit, and to prevent, to set a standard for our elected officials to follow, to establish and restore trust, accountability, and transparency. And we're going to post this on the website in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And there's something to remember during public comment. Say the code of ethics will surrender the control of the city council authority to the city manager. To the city manager, is just a bunch of nonsense. The city council do not run the city. The city manager runs the city 24/7. Whether we adopt the code of ethics or not. After reading through these provisions that we're taking out, and the original code of ethics, to me it's very simple, extremely well written, in very plain, simple English that anyone can understand. If someone who's supposed to remove these provisions, it begs the question now. Number 1, is the person already violating these provisions? Is the person guilty of committing these violations in the past, today, or has an intention of doing it in the future? This is how we responded to Chief Kevin Baker's lawsuit, that the allegation was true and correct. Thank you.
All right. Any other input from member council? I call for question.
I do have a question. I noticed on the wall over there, on that wall, on the wall on the side, and in the entrance, there's maybe city manager can help me. What are those on the wall?
They're just some rules of conduct for the audience.
Who created them?
The city clerk put those together.
Why? Why were they created? For the community?
They were originally done when we had the item last year for the sanctuary city.
Okay, but why do we create them though? Why are they there and why are they posted?
We're trying to maintain decorum in the council meetings, sir.
They were created to create decorum in the council chambers so that the council can conduct business. So I guess I'm just a little confused because why is it that the residents have a code of conduct, but us as council members are not including a code of conduct in our ethics?
All right.
Again, I'm just an observer and now a participant. I've had the opportunity to listen to both sides on the matter. I know tonight a lot of people are passionate about a code of ethics, passionate about a code of conduct. They're very passionate about their city and the future of the city and how we conduct business with one another and for the city and on behalf of the city. And so I'm just, again, I'm still in disagreement from the last meeting that we had where time was spent to create a very thorough code of ethics and code of conduct by a resident that was selected by the council and directed by the council to create something for us to approve. So I guess I just like some clarification. When that person was selected, they were not a commissioner, from what I remember. Then when they submitted the work, they were still not a commissioner. And then when they were selected to be a commissioner, can you walk us through the process of selection for a commissioner and how they're actually appointed to be a commissioner? Because I just wanted to clarify. So I guess my question back to the city manager would be, how is someone appointed to be a commissioner on this council?
They're moved by a member of the council and voted on.
Okay, voted on moved by a member of the council and voted on by who?
The council.
The city council. So how many votes would this person need to have before they're appointed to be in that position?
The majority of the council, so 3.
3. Thank you. So when he was appointed, did he only get 3 votes or did he get all 5 votes from the majority of the council? Does anybody remember when he was appointed? Was he appointed by the civil majority or by the majority?
City clerk says unanimous.
It was a unanimous appointment to the commission. So this council unanimously appointed that commissioner that we previously appointed to create this code of ethics. So again, I fail to understand the reasoning behind the perception of what you would call, conflict of interest. I'm just confused. So to clarify a little more, and city manager, I know you and I are going to be really good friends tonight. I'm going to ask you some questions. Does this code of ethics only apply to council members, or does it apply to any appointed position?
On your comment.
Honestly, I'd have to go back and read through word by word to answer that. I assume it applies to council and commissioners.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I'm just trying to get, again, this reasoning behind the conflict. I do think we do need a code of ethics. I do believe that if the residents have a code of conduct, then we as a council should also have a code of conduct. I think that there's been a number of times where I know sometimes all of us, and I'm guilty, I have my moments when I get a little passionate and I talk over people sometimes, and people talk over me, which is okay, sometimes we get caught up. But I think sometimes, like residents, when they come into the room, I don't know, where's the first rule that we have on that listed on there?
Treat others courteously.
Treat others what? I'm sorry? Courtesies, yes. So as a resident, I'm sure that comes to the chamber, I don't think they're coming in here ready to mistreat people. I don't think people come with that intention, but we listed it as a code of conduct or a rule for us in order for us to conduct business. So I know some of the things that are listed that are on this code of conduct that was created by the attorney earlier has some rules for us that I guess would seem as common sense, but sometimes we forget. I know sometimes when I'm in a restaurant, I'm leaving, as I go to the restroom, there's a sign that says, please wash your hands. Sometimes, some of us are in a hurry and we kind of start rushing at the door and we see the sign like, oh yeah, let's make sure we wash our hands. So I think this is the reasoning, I'm just gonna kind of bring it down for me in terms of my understanding, that the code of conduct that was created previously wasn't, in my opinion, created to wreak havoc within the council or cause additional problems or cause us to do otherwise. I just think that the intent was for us to at least have some written direction that we will, at least in our way, behave in a respectful manner and of ethics and conduct each other with respect and trust or trust each other. So with that said, I'd like to see if there's a possibility this council would consider a substitute motion to look at including a code of conduct along with our code of ethics, simply because, again, if the residents have a code of conduct, it's really unfair, I think unethical, for us not to have our own code of conduct, because it just doesn't make sense. So again, I'm not going to pick and choose which ones we should do it right now. I think if it's okay for the council that we can take this back and maybe look or vote on the ones that are on this previous list and select the ones that we think are most important. In all fairness, again, I'm not taking anyone's side. I just think that if the residents of Westminster have a code of conduct that's listed on the wall, on each of our walls, and they see when they walked in, it's only fair that we as council members have our own code of conduct. So my substitute motion is to take back our current code of ethics and look at ways to include a code of conduct to accompany it so that it's fair for all of us, not just residents are required to abide by their own or our own makeshift code of conduct for our meetings.
I'll second that.
Before we vote, I do have a few things I would like. First of all, Councilmember Contreras, how long have you been sitting on this yes?
Sir, if you'd like to know that, that would be almost 7 years I've been on this.
Thank you
I
very much.
served in the city of Westminster.
Thank you very much.
I also served as a school board member for 8 years,
All
so
right.
almost 17 years in office representing the residents of Westminster. Yes.
You answered that question, okay? Secondly, let me ask as city clerk, go ahead and pick that picture up for me, please. The slide that I showed you earlier, I have not had a chance to go through it. Now, this is the time. You see that picture right there on the right? What did it say on the door? Okay, a career in politics, and that's right there. Before you step, when you enter a career in politics, ethics, right there, ethics is the first thing you consider. It is given. Okay, now let me.
It's a trash can.
Let me
It
show
shows
you.
ethics
That's
in
not a trash can.
That's what that
Now
is.
let me tell you. Councilmember Doe. Where's your common sense? What you just said is common sense. It's already established by AB 1234. Now you are repeating it, which is unnecessary. Secondly, on the day, February 28th, when you present this code of ethics, you don't have anything for us. And creating an ad hoc committee doesn't mean that we are rejecting it. You go out there tell people that we are the board, the body, this body here, rejecting it, and you just said it again. Why do you say that? I challenge you to prove it to me that when you said that, okay? Let me tell you.
What was the question again? Can I respond to your question, sir?
The question I challenge you, prove it to me, or prove it to the people here, that when we rejected it, have we ever said that we rejected it? We asked for the ad hoc committee. You said right here, we rejected it by creating ad hoc committee. Creating ad hoc committee doesn't mean that we are rejecting it. We have people working on that. In fact, we actually appoint your people. Okay? Why is it your people? On 24th, we appointed Dave Johnson to work on it. The next meeting, you appoint Dave Johnson while we have not had a chance to review it. Okay? So that the process is still there. It's not done yet. Right? Now, I haven't done yet. I have to wait for you to say it. Now, my turn. I haven't done yet. Now, I know that Amy West, at the last meeting, she presented whatever you present, the last meeting. Now, hold on. As you go over it today, let me ask you a question. What the thing that you present, what does it call? What's the name for it?
It's the Code of Ethics.
Sure. That's the Code of Ethics. And it's already adopted by neighboring city, which is City of Huntington Beach. And you call that is nonsense? I'm sorry. You can go back and talk to the City of Huntington Beach, that you can tell them that that's not the Code of Ethics. We are adopting the same thing. And let me remind you that the option that we are choosing today, that I make a motion, is not developed by us. It's developed by our city attorney. So what's wrong with it?
Dear friend,
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, rejecting initially, Vice Mayor Kimberly Ho mentioned that she's not accepting it because conflict of interest, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. We can review the video. And I think you voted for Council Member when you voted for Mr. David Johnson to be on the commission with the Deputy City Attorney to work on the draft of the Code of Ethics. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, sir, Mr. Deputy City Attorney, the two additional code of ethics that we have on file right here, right in front of attachment 1 and 2. If I remember, I received a phone call from you. Is that correct? That's asking me what do I want in the code of ethics after the last meeting. I think it's April or something. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, my intent was to just receive input, and I did not share anything about any other council members, but just to receive input.
Oh, okay. Do you remember? Okay, so you asked, if I remember correctly, you asked me what I wanted taken out or add into the particular draft of code of ethics. Is that correct? Is that something that we can share, or is?
No, anything we discussed there. Basically, I just asked generally, did you have any comments or anything you wanted to see with respect to, so I could take that into consideration in trying to draft something, because it was kind of a difficult assignment that I'm supposed to prepare something that the whole entire council would agree with, and I couldn't share what everybody else was saying, so I just wanted to receive input from you.
Okay, so is that a fair statement for you to say that the two new attachments were basically a products of what you input, for lack of a better word, for input from the resident city council?
Primarily, it was just something that I put together in conjunction with another person in my office, for the most part. At the last council meeting when we had the discussion, there were some comments made that generally said they thought it was too long. The conduct section wasn't necessary, made it too difficult to read. Nobody would read through 14 pages, that the ethics should be shorter.
And so I kind of took that in mind, and I did a draft that was just trying to focus more on the ethics, which essentially consolidated those down into a couple pages. That was my first thing. And then to try and maybe incorporate some of the thoughts that were made at the last council meeting primarily. One of those being that we wanted to be clear that it was okay to communicate with staff but not provide direction. That was one of the things that was discussed. One of the other things that was discussed was trying to make it clear that it's good to communicate with the city attorney when you have a question about whether you might have a conflict of interest or a legal issue. So I made sure that was incorporated. But by and large, I pretty much did it with not too much council input.
Not too much?
Yeah, because for the most part, I think they pretty much deferred to me on it. And I think, except on those 2 points, those are the major ones that there was input on.
One more question, and then I'll let you go. Is there any possibility that, adopting or not adopting this cover ethic that will, the city council will lose control over the city? To the city manager, like the allegation of some of the comment we'll make during the public comments?
Well, I think I think that's a difficult question. I think depends on what the rule says. These are intended to be general guidelines, ethical principles.
Let me rephrase that real quick. Okay, so basically, the allegation is if the city council adopts this code of ethics, that will tie the hands of the city council from officially running the city.
Again, it depends on which policy you adopt, but
you know what I mean? That the city council cannot direct staff doing work for them directly.
No, and that's pretty clear in all of the policies.
All policy across the United States, pretty much that the elected official is not to direct the staff to do work for them.
It's like the municipal code that the city manager is the one to direct staff.
Okay, so it is in the municipal code specifically that the city manager is the one running the city. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the code of ethics, whatever you adopt, is a policy stated by the council. We are still governed by law, and our municipal code and state law does dictate certain things, but you still have to comply with it, regardless of whether you have or don't have a policy stated regarding ethics.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, Councilmember Wing, you want to say something? Are you done? Vice Mayor, are you done?
Can I just re-clarify my motion? Just a motion?
Okay,
So my substitute motion again is for us to just continue the item so that we have time to include the code of conduct.
All right, so we have.
Because, I'm not done, sorry, sir. Just because I just think that, again, it's not fair that the residents have a code of conduct when they come to a meeting and we don't. If that's the case, then I think, if we're not gonna include a code of conduct, then I think we should take those down so that they're not required to do things that we are not required to do the same.
So if I could clarify, of the three versions, the original version drafted by Christian and Mr. Johnson, unless I'm mistaken, I believe does include both the code of ethics and essentially a code of conduct. So you could recommend just adopting the original version, but I don't know if that's really what you're recommending.
I mean, I'm not.
Well, let me, I don't think you've got a process here, but the motion on the floor was to adopt state attachment number 2. Mr. Contreras' motion, give that motion, to add to the motion to adopt attachment 2, to add a code of conduct, and make that continue the matter. So if the motion had been to adopt attachment 3, his motion would not be necessary. Under the circumstances, this is an appropriate motion.
Okay.
So basically, we have a substitute motion on the floor, and I agree with city attorney. Whatever version that we adopt tonight, all of us, we need to follow the state and federal law because when we take our office, that we swear and we make our pledge that we need to follow the state and federal. So regardless of what version that we need to adopt tonight, I believe that there's no way that we add something, we do something beyond the state and federal law. So, but right now we have this substitute motion and by Councilman Contreras and a second by Councilman Dole. So,
Let's do it.
The motion is to continue and to bring back the code of ethics, code of conduct.
I'm not clear. I don't know what the attorney's timeline is, and I don't know how much involvement, how much time council needs for input. So how much time did you need last time around to craft your first initial draft of the code of ethics?
I think we had at least 4 weeks to do that.
We're not assuming we do that.
If it passes, I don't know. If it is.
We need to come back in 4 weeks. Because we're going to be potentially dark by the second meeting in June, so the most appropriate time might be the first meeting in June.
All right.
So, just again, to clarify, is the motion to come back with a whole new document, or to come back with essentially attachment number 2 with an additional code of conduct included?
Let me make some suggestion. Mr. Contreras made the motion on the floor to continue bringing code of conduct back for the first meeting in July. If that passes, then we'll come back and ask Mr. Contreras and council to further clarify that, should we get that direction. Let's see if it passes first, then we'll get the clarification.
All right, so we have a citizen motion on the floor. It's time for me to call for question.
So we vote on substitute motion first, right?
Yes,
Correct.
substitute motion
Motion
go first.
to continue and bring back the code of conduct.
All right, substitute motion go first.
First meeting in July.
All right, let's vote.
That motion failed 2-3.
Now what's on the floor is the first.
All right, so now we have original motion on the floor.
To adopt the attachment number 2.
Yep. All right, so now we have the motion on the floor. Vote please. All right, the motion on the floor, the motion is to adopt version number 2.
I just want to say that before I cast my vote, that I cast my vote with the disappointment that we require Westminster residents to follow a code of conduct, but yet we should not have one or should abide by one. I don't think that's fair. I don't think we're asking for, I don't think the residents are asking for much by trying to include a code of conduct. It's unfortunate. I really wish we could include one. So I just, again, I don't know if it's a separate item that I need to bring forward, that I bring an item that we create a code of conduct. So I'm not, would that be possible, something I could do?
You're not included.
Okay, so if I want to create, next meeting, bring a code of conduct, I could do so to accompany this.
Well, let me add to that. You know, we initially, when Councilman Kaido proposed it, it's a code of ethics, no code of conduct. Okay, so that's why I vote for the code of ethics.
Right, so we have a motion and a second on the floor. I think we have to vote for it, and we are voting to adopt version number 2, but still code of ethics.
Could this come back and include a code of conduct?
That was not in the motion.
Motion on the floor at this point in time is to
That is not in the motion.
second attachment.
Right. So,
That motion carried 3-0-2 with council members Contreras and Doe abstaining. And that was to adopt attachment number 2's version.
all right.
And just for the record, I'd like to note the reason for my abstention is because it did not include a code of conduct.
It wasn't asked from the beginning.
And again, I hope that we can take those down from the walls, that residents are unfairly required to follow this code of conduct, but yet we don't have one in our own policy.
I totally agree with that. I mean, we expect everybody to have a code of conduct. But we, the elected official, is above the law. We don't have the following code of conduct. This is a watershed. It's sad day. Thank you.
All right, so our next item, we have consent calendar, or matter listed in the consent calendar, item C routine, and maybe approved by a single motion, followed by roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of this item, unless member city council or staff request a specific item be removed from the consent calendar for separate action or discussion. May I have a motion?
I move to approve the consent calendar.
I second it.
Before I have to go on this, I'd like to ask Mr. Marwan, you said where is California Street? 6752. I just want to make sure that we live like beyond 1,000 feet. Okay, far from there. And then 14800 Beach Boulevard, I believe more than 100, more than 1,000. All right, thank you. All right, consent calendar. Council member? We're voting on consent calendar.
That motion carried 5-0 to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you. Next item, we have public hearings.
Actually, we moved 5.1 to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so item 5.1, please. So, may I have staff report? Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Todd, Vice Mayor Hill, and council members. I would like to present to you the city manager's proposed two-year budget. I'm going to focus on 1920, as 2021 is basically the same budget with some trend changes and contractual increases. The two-year budget gives us a chance to see where our city is headed based on current trends and costs. I'll start with the city's largest fund, the general fund. Fiscal year 1920 shows total budgeted revenues of $63 million. As you can see, taxes make up the vast majority of these revenues at almost 87%. I think this highlights that we, like all cities, rely heavily on taxes. When budgeting revenues, the city uses the assistance of outside experts who specialize in forecasting. We are conservative in our forecasting and only projecting an approximate 2% increase for fiscal year 1920 and another 1.3% for fiscal year 2021. To further break down the 87% tax revenues budgeted at $54.5 million, sales tax at 31% or $17.1 million are the largest source, followed by property taxes at $16.1 million and transaction taxes at $12.7 million. It should also be noted with this category, this is driven by the economy and requires the vote of the Westminster citizens to enact changes, and of course the transaction tax has an end date of December 31st, 2022. The transaction tax. The city began collecting this 1% tax in April 2017. The audited collection for fiscal year 17-18 is $15.2 million. It has provided $3 million to repair and maintain the city streets. It has allowed the city to hire and recruit police officers as well as additional code enforcement and park personnel. It gave us our first positive billing change in fund balance without the use of transfers from other funds in fiscal year 17-18, and is projected to do the same for fiscal years 18-19 and 19-20. It has provided for some of the funding of our Section 115 trust accounts. It currently provides about $13 million a year to the general fund. In summary, this tax, which is set to sunset on December 31st, 2022, has allowed the city to avoid bankruptcy and to be able to continue providing services to our Westminster citizens. However, as you will see in a few slides, it is almost impossible not to bring this tax back to the voters to continue servicing them. With the loss of big retail stores at Westminster Mall and no big replacement for the near future, with the sales and transaction tax are coming in at the lower end of our past projection ranges, and it will be a huge challenge to replace $13 million a year in revenue. The general fund expenditures for fiscal year 1920 are projected at approximately $63 million. The majority of costs are related to police and fire, which make up 76% of the total costs. Overall, expenditures increased about 3% from prior year. The increase is made up of contractual obligations, including the city's union contracts, Orange County Fire Authority, and CalPERS pension. A large portion of all the expense categories is made up of the city's pension costs. City employees don't receive social security benefits. Employees and the city pay into the CalPERS system, which provides the employee pension. In addition, medical benefits are provided upon retirement. At June 30, 2018, the city had 116 million unfunded liability. While this is a large number, it should also be noted that the miscellaneous plan was 67% funded, and safety plan was 73% funded. These funding percentages, like the unfunded liability balance, will vary from year to year. Our unfunded liability will continue to increase over the next few years as CalPERS is lowering its discount rate from 7.5% to 7% over fiscal years 18-19 through 2021. There is currently a 30-year payoff plan in place that will ramp up payments for 5 years, stabilize
Vâng, thưa anh Joseph, cho anh có thể cho biết kết quả, mặc dù cuộc họp ngày hôm nay chưa kết thúc, nhưng mà anh có thể cho biết anh suy nghĩ như thế nào về kết quả ngày hôm nay?
Thì kết quả của ngày hôm nay thì rất là đúng, tại vì thành phố Westminster họ đã có luật tới cả mấy chục năm nay rồi, đúng không? Mà bây giờ đang không đi làm một cái luật đạo đức một cách không chính đáng như vậy thì cũng là một cái điều rất là đáng buồn. Nhưng mà cái là thực sự ra đó, mình phải coi là cái người dân cử như là Tài Đỗ đó, anh ta đã có cái đạo đức đến đâu mà anh ta đã cho một người vô làm cái công việc này và làm lên một cái luật đạo đức cho những người khác. Cái đó là một cái điều mà đáng phải khiển trách anh nghị viên Tài Đỗ. Và khi cái luật đạo đức này đó, nếu mà làm ra như vậy đó, chẳng khác nào đập vào mặt tất cả các dân cử, các nghị viên hay là thị trưởng của thành phố, nói là họ làm việc vô đạo đức từ xưa đến nay. Đó là một cái đấm vào mặt cho tất cả những nghị viên cũng như là thị trưởng của thành phố này trong 60 năm qua.
Cảm ơn anh rất nhiều. Vâng, chúng tôi thấy ông nhà báo Nguyễn Phương Hùng cũng là một người đã tự đứng lên để mà phát biểu suy nghĩ của ông. Kết quả của cuộc họp ngày hôm nay, ông có thể cho biết ông suy nghĩ như thế nào?
Vâng, kính thưa quý khán giả của Nửa Vòng Trái Đất TV. Vâng, kết quả ngày hôm nay đó thì là họ đã đưa ra 3 cái đề nghị về vấn đề cái nguyên tắc đạo đức. Thì họ từ chối cái của ông David Johnson. Đấy. Mặc dù ông David Johnson là người đứng lên để có phát biểu, thì họ chọn cái version thứ hai, tức là của một người mà chúng tôi không được biết, là không thấy được in ở trong cái chương trình nghị sự ngày hôm nay. Tuy nhiên trong cái vấn đề cũng về cái code of ethics ấy, thì ông nghị viên Sergio Contreras, ông đã mang lên một cái điều rất đúng, là ông hỏi rằng 2 cái tờ giấy dán trên tường đó là cái 2 tờ giấy gì, thì ai dán, tại sao dán cái đó, rồi nội dung là ra sao, ai chấp thuận cái điều đó, mà chấp thuận hồi nào. Tất cả ông chỉ cần nói như vậy là tất cả mọi người hiểu cái mà bữa trước chúng tôi đã nói trong cái livestream và chúng tôi chụp hình đưa lên. Mấy ông nghị viên kia không biết cái này, tự ý ông Tạ Đức Chí viết ra một cái gọi là conduct of ethics. Thì cái này chỉ áp dụng cho những người tới tham dự cái điều trần, bất cứ buổi điều trần nào. Thì ông Sergio Contreras, ông bảo rằng á, mục đích cái này nó nhắm vào ai? Nó nhắm về những người tới đây để mà đưa những đề nghị, hay là nhắm vào những nghị viên, hay là nhắm tới cả hai bên. Và ông đưa ra rất đúng. Nếu mà giờ bạn đưa ra cái luật như vậy, nó khó, có nhiều người ta sẽ cảm thấy rằng họ tự ái, thế xong rồi họ không tới nữa, rồi mình chỉ ngồi đây là mình nói chuyện với nhau, không có người nào nghe. Thì thưa quý khán giả, thì bây giờ ít ra đó họ cũng đã phải chấp nhận một cái gọi là cái quy tắc đạo đức nào đó. Tuy nhiên cái quy tắc đạo đức thì ông nghị viên Tài Đỗ đã đọc hết 25 phần mà chúng tôi đã ủng hộ, chúng tôi đã lên tiếng ủng hộ, nhưng mà rồi rốt cục thì cũng không chấp thuận cái của ông David Johnson. Thì đó là cái tường trình ngày hôm nay, thưa anh.
Cũng còn rất nhiều người quan tâm đến cái bằng tưởng lục trao cho cô Thanh Vân, và ngay cả ông cũng đã đặt cái vấn đề đó. Liệu rằng câu chuyện ngày hôm nay nó đã kết thúc chưa, hay là cái vấn đề bằng tưởng lục sẽ nhiều người nhắc trong thời gian tới thưa?
Dạ vâng, thưa, như chúng tôi đã nói, cái ông Tạ Đức Chí trong ngày hôm nay, trong cái phần tường trình của chúng tôi đó, thì chúng tôi có nói rằng ông Tạ Đức Chí là người đã ủng hộ cho cái luật No Communication của ông nghị viên Eddie Quách. Ông Tạ Đức Chí cũng là người đã đưa ra cái nghị luật rằng là không được treo cờ đỏ sao vàng ở trong cái khuôn viên, tức là chỗ tôi đang đứng này. Đấy. Và ông Tạ Đức Chí cũng mới đây đó là đưa ra những cái nghị quyết mà cấm phái đoàn cộng sản với lại các nhà hàng mà có cộng sản tới đó thì phải thông báo. Nhưng mà tại sao ngày hôm nay ông lại đưa một cái bằng tưởng lục cho cô Ngô Thanh Vân? Thì chúng tôi cũng có đề nghị với thành phố đó là khi cái bằng tưởng lục nó có nhiều cái mức độ khác nhau. Cái thấp nhất nó là cái certificate, tức là một cái giấy chứng nhận, và cái cao nhất của nó là một cái regulation, tức là một cái nghị quyết. Mà đã nói là nghị quyết á, của thành phố là phải đủ 5 người. Đó là tôi đề nghị đưa vào trong cái code of ethics, tức là phải có là đủ 5 người. Và bây giờ chúng ta thấy rằng ông bà Ngô Thanh Vân cũng đã mặc cái áo cờ đỏ sao vàng, và bà Ngô Thanh Vân cũng đã mặc nhiều hơn cả ca sĩ Đàm Vĩnh Hưng nữa. Chúng tôi chỉ thấy ca sĩ Đàm Vĩnh Hưng có một lần đi đón U23 đấy, để mà chuẩn bị đi vào chung kết. Thì cái một lần một, nhưng mà tại sao ca sĩ Đàm Vĩnh Hưng bị trống mà cô Ngô Thanh Vân không bị trống? Thì tôi đã, trong cái đó không có thì giờ, tôi đã mang tới những cái tấm hình và tôi muốn nhờ thành phố để đưa lên ở trong cái USB này. Là trong cái đó là sao, là ông Tạ Đức Chí và cô Đoàn Quế Anh là vợ của ông và cô Kiều Trinh đã ký hợp đồng về cái cuốn phim trong với lại ông Alan Võ Phò. Thì đối với tôi đó, thì ông Tạ Đức Chí đang làm một cái công việc conflict of interest. Ông có quyền làm công việc ở bên ngoài không sao hết, nhưng mà đó ông lại đưa cô Ngô Thanh Vân đi vào trong văn phòng của ông, mà cái văn phòng thường mỗi lần đó, ông đều có để cái lá cờ vàng và sọc đỏ. Nhưng mà khi ông trao cái bằng tưởng lục cho cô Ngô Thanh Vân thì ông giấu cái lá cờ đi. Thì như vậy nó có cái ẩn ý gì? Hoặc là ông nghĩ rằng cái lá cờ đó rất là xấu, hoặc là lá cờ đó rất nhạy cảm với cộng đồng. Nhưng mà vì ông đã ký hợp đồng về phim ảnh với lại ông Alan Võ thì ông có bổn phận phải trả công lại, đi ngược lại, tức là phải làm một cái bằng tưởng lực cho cô Ngô Thanh Vân. Và với một cái chúng tôi chưa kể là cái nội dung trong cái hợp đồng đó, thường á, tôi đã từng đóng phim ở trên Hollywood, tôi biết mỗi một lần cuốn phim nó được mang ra chiếu thì tôi lại nhận được một cái check gửi về. Có nghĩa rằng những cái tiền thưởng ở trong cái cuốn phim được chiếu, thì cái cuốn phim nó được lời được bao nhiêu thì chúng tôi được một cái phần trăm nào ở trong cái cuốn phim. Thì tôi nghĩ rằng đây là cái việc làm của ông Tạ Đức Chí đã conflict of interest, tức là nó có bị va chạm quyền lợi. Và nếu mà không phải là nghị viên của thành phố thì ông Tạ Đức Chí có được là cái công ty production phim đó ký hợp đồng hay không. Và tôi chưa bao giờ nghe cô Đoàn Quế Anh, tức là vợ ông Tạ Đức Chí, là một người viết truyện phim, mà bây giờ thì ông Tạ Đức Chí lại đứng ra ký hợp đồng sản xuất đấy, và cô vợ là người viết cái truyện phim. Thưa anh.
Vâng, cảm ơn ông rất nhiều. Vâng, thưa quý vị, có thể nói rằng là giờ này đã là hơn 10 giờ đêm. Tuy nhiên cũng còn rất nhiều người đứng phía bên ngoài của thành phố, hội đồng thành phố Westminster, và dường như là câu chuyện này sẽ chưa kết thúc, bởi vì còn rất nhiều người tranh cãi và rất nhiều người đứng ngoài bàn tán xôn xao sau khi mà cuộc họp đã đưa ra rất nhiều cái thông tin, cũng như là đã rất nhiều sự tranh cãi giữa hai bên, một bên ủng hộ cũng như một bên không ủng hộ về cái quy tắc đạo đức mà nhiều người đang nói tới. Derek Phạm, Nửa vòng trái đất TV, tường trình từ thành phố Westminster, miền Nam California, Hoa Kỳ.